What's going on, fellas?
Welcome to the Krueg Show. After Warrior Basketball, Larry Krueger with you. Hope everybody's having a great night. We got an exciting show ahead on the Krueg Show as we get closer to the NBA trade deadline, and there were some big trades that we need to break down. On Top Square, R. Smitty 13, back to the basket. He's got a back to the basket game. He also has a similar flag to the one that I'm flying, and that is the great Ryan Smith. Top Box on the other side, coming to you live from our Del Boca Vista Bureau inside the walls of a gated empire, 55 and over community. But don't tell Danny, his old lady's younger than that, but he's keeping it on the down low. The great Dan Coach Emilio. Danny, how are you?
Good.
The crowd's going crazy. We gotta
That's a new hat from.
Where'd you get that lid? I mean, when I see that lid,
residency,
the first thing I'm thinking is that is a good looking lid. That thing, Danny. I mean, it's not. No, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I had 3 of them ordered. I got 2 in the box, and they charged me for 3. And I'm like, what happened to the third one? It was my city hat. There was the blue with the yellow SF was the
honestly, no, we're not sponsored by them, and we're not even done through the intros, but can I go to that website and just like share the screen and like scroll through them? Because they're freaking sick. And like Trent Williams wears them. And
yeah, they got some good stuff. Yeah.
We'll see what the crowd thinks of Danny's hat. I like it. All right, that's enough. On the bottom of the screen, the great Bay Area baller. Sometimes he goes flat cap. Tonight, he's got there's a slight bend to it.
Yeah.
No diving board caps tonight.
Whoa. Hey, they'll be back.
Danny's close. Danny goes closer to the John Deere fold.
Hey, look at
baller goes more with the pizza box. Are those all the different folds?
Yeah.
Look at that.
They've even got like Trent Williams modeling some of them, but they've got great names too. Like
see that blue one there, the SF,
the city.
Yeah, that's the one I was supposed to get. I was going to have on tonight.
See the candlestick? Get the yellow one.
It says sold out.
Look at the candlestick over there. See the candlestick?
Candlestick Dad is sold out.
The model of the candlestick.
Yeah.
There's the candlestick.
One sold out.
Sold out.
Now, why is that the candlestick?
I don't know. That's
just like Niners colors, kind of, and it's just like pretty cool hat.
And basically, that's an SF. It's just kind of a weird script.
It's just a good script. They've got a good font.
There we go. Well, nice.
But be careful. They have no phone number, so customer service ain't the greatest.
Well, it is midnight Eastern, almost 1 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, here we go.
There he is.
Yeah,
There's
sampling that. Check this one out.
Lid.
That's good.
See that? I got it on.
Dan, soon they're going to put you up there. Oh, wow, that's sharp.
Yeah. Oh, how many did you get?
I got 2. I was waiting for there was supposed to be 3, and they didn't.
Let's see the back.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
The back's kind of weird. It's Velcro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'll show you the box it came in. Pretty cool looking box. Let me see.
And of course, bottom of the screen, Big Frank Red in the house. Red, good to see you.
Likewise.
Man, let's get into this Warrior game. Warriors go up to Portland, and Portland outscores them 34-27 in the first quarter, and then Golden State has a huge 40-point second quarter. And I thought, man, Golden State's it's gonna be their night, but no. It was the Blazers 125-122. They outscored Golden State by 3 in the fourth, and they wind up winning by that margin, 30-27 in the fourth, and the Blazers get it done. Go ahead. Who wants to be the first to give the review of the game tonight? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd love to jump in. And I thought the Blazers came out and they had more energy than the Warriors did. They had 8 offensive rebounds at halftime. Warriors, it's been a theme throughout the season, picking up these ticky-tack fouls. Then you get into bonus, the Blazers were in the bonus 6 minutes into the game, right in the first quarter. So the Warriors, they got to eliminate these ticky-tack fouls because it ends up hurting you. The Warriors shot 32, the Blazers shot 32 free throws. There were 31 of 32 from the line. The Warriors were 9 of 10. That's a 22-point
Lillard was
discrepancy.
16 of 16. Lillard alone was a 6 points more.
Lillard was spectacular tonight. Jonathan Kuminga, we all love Jonathan Kuminga. We're high on John, but tonight was not his night. He had a tough time. Damian Lillard's a tough cover, but he was blowing by Kuminga in that first half. I thought Wiggins held up a little bit better.
Pirtle's on the move.
Where
Raptors.
I knew Jake was going because they got Deadman
came from the Raptors.
Yeah, it came from Raptors.
First round pick and 2 future seconds.
Well, he knew that he was going because they got Deadman the other day, and it was like, what are you going to do with? I mean, they're going nowhere. This team, they're playing for Wimbledon.
Sure, this isn't a three-way.
Hey, the other thing about the Warriors tonight, they were plus 19 off turnovers and plus 39 tonight on 3-pointers. They lost the game basically at the free throw line, and they also took 18 more shots, so they were missing. They
let's not. They lost the game inside.
Yes.
Portland was 66-42 points in the paint. Golden State was minus 24 points in the paint. They were minus 15 on the glass. It was 47-32 Blazers on the glass. It's too bad the Warriors don't have like a young 7'1", like 260-pound athletic big man who could run up and down and help them inside. It's a shame they don't have that player. Oh, they do. They just don't play him. Make it make sense. How do you get beat 66-42 in the paint, 47-32 on the glass, and James Wiseman's a DNP coach's decision? Am I missing something? Am I missing the obvious? Has basketball changed a lot since the last time I thought of it? I mean, what is going on here? Why are they losing games like this and he's getting no PT? Does anybody have an idea?
Well, I mean, at this point, we can all surmise that this conversation with Wiseman and potential trades. So I get that on the eve of the trading deadline. But he played the last game, and he could have got hurt in that game, and he actually played pretty well. I just think Steve Kerr is fixated on proving himself right and everybody wrong. It's frustrating for me to watch. I'm sure the owner doesn't like it because, like it or not, Wiseman's going to get an extension from somebody, and he hasn't proved that he's worthy. This is a familiar theme, though. The Warriors lose against big athletic teams. They punked Portland at home. They should have lost that game. And if they had a loss against Portland tonight, and they could have very easily won, but people were going to start looking at Chauncey Billups a little strange because this is not a game that Portland should lose against the Warriors, down their best players, playing basically a bunch of backups out there. So, it would have been nice for the Warriors to win, but Portland needed this game more. They really did.
Golden State was plus 39 at the 3-point line and still lost by 3.
Yeah,
imagine if the Blazers had just a middle-of-the-road 3-point shooting game. Lillard was 1 of 7. They shot 8 of 27. So not only did Golden State make 21 threes and Blazers made 8, but the Blazers shot 29.6% from 3. So they shot a terrible percentage, and they got destroyed in total points there, and they still found a way to win over Golden State. I mean, that's what's discouraging to me.
That's the
could have used somebody like Vanderbilt down low tonight, but they'll see him Saturday night now.
Yeah. I actually am just super encouraged by this game. I thought that everyone played really well. Poole played I want to see Poole putting together a string of awesome games. That's what's really important. Yeah. Same thing with Clay. Same thing with Wiggins. Same thing with Kuminga. And it's like, Wiggins again, very aggressive, freaking boarding, looking like his old self, sort of looking like confident. And also, I know everyone's going to be super butthurt that he didn't just dunk home that breakaway at the end of the game, but he did the same thing before halftime and it got to Poole and Poole freaking hit a 3. I actually think that DiVincenzo should have just, if DiVincenzo one more pass, Clay was wide open, no one on him. I think he hits it. But I thought Wiggins played really well. Poole obviously did really, really well, stepped up. Back-to-back games, a big assist all-around game. Now he's scoring. Freaking Clay coming right off an absolute heater. I think a lot of us thought, okay, he's probably going to have a little bit of a come-down game. Nope, just came out on fire. Looked like, man, we beat y'all like without Steph before. Like this is so I'm pretty encouraged. It's just that it's getting scary because it's like they can't be effing around. They got to win these games that they can win. Like
they're just bad on the road at this point. I mean, they're 7-21 on the road.
Oh, yeah,
guys. By the way, though, how about the DiVincenzo jam?
Oh, that was sweet.
I mean, cocked it back and threw it down on his head. I mean, DiVincenzo is. It's funny. Isn't it interesting how the whole GP2 DiVincenzo, and yet DiVincenzo has been a great addition, but at the same time, if you say what's the biggest change from last year to this year, it's not having GP2. So it's weird. It's like I wish the Warriors could have both those guys.
Right.
That's why I want Caruso. Give me Wiseman for Caruso. I want it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. People say, well, Caruso, don't they have that exact same player in DiVincenzo? If you know the NBA, you know that is not the exact same player.
No, it's the same like McCaffrey and Debo Samuel. They're similar.
That's generalizing right there. I think Caruso's, much more of a. I think they're both good chemistry guys, but I think Caruso's kind of more of a defender. I mean, he's a little bit more dogged in his, defensive effort.
Steve Kerr already said he sees Klay Thompson more as a 3-4 now, which means like just maybe throw Klay as a freaking. I mean, he's getting kind of big.
Well, the trade of the day, guys, before we get in more into this game. First of all, there's a couple trades. Blazers made one. They traded Josh Hart to the Knicks for Cam Reddish. New York sends Cam Reddish and a protected future first-round pick to Portland. That first-round pick can also turn into 4 second-round picks. I don't know if you guys saw that instead of a first-round pick. So I thought that was an interesting deal. But, of course, the bigger deal of the day is the 3-way trade. This was really interesting, the whole 3-way deal. The Lakers, the Jazz, and the T-Wolves got together. Woj had the story. The Lakers get D'Angelo Russell back. So D'Lo goes back to Staples. They also get 2 players that I think the Warriors really wanted, Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. So the Lakers get a really nice deal. The Jazz wind up getting Russell Westbrook, who I would imagine is going to be bought out, and a Lakers protected 2027 first-round draft choice, which seems kind of low to me for what they traded.
Yes.
The Timberwolves get Mike Conley Jr. and picks going back. And, of course, this all comes less than 24 hours after Russ Westbrook and Darvin Ham had a pretty heated verbal exchange in the locker room at halftime of their game against OKC. So maybe things had become totally untenable with Russ. But I'll tell you this, from Minnesota's standpoint, because in this deal, Minnesota moves D'Lo, who they got from the Warriors. So essentially, guys, wait for this one. Minnesota traded Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga for a 35-year-old Mike Conley and a second-round pick.
Credit Jordan Elliott for that.
Jordan Elliott had that. Yeah,
that was a great tweet. Great freaking tweet.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's highway robbery.
Timberwolves.
I mean, how about Westbrook's travels? He signs the 5-year, $205 million extension with the Thunder in 2017. At that point, it was the largest contract in the history of the NBA. And in the 5 years of that deal, year 1, he played for OKC. Year 2, he played for the Rockets. He was traded there. Year 3, he was traded to the Wizards. Year 4, he was traded to the Lakers. And now here it is, year 5, and he's traded to the Jazz. I mean, seriously. And now they're saying he's going to get bought out, and he may wind up in LA with the Clippers.
Exactly. We're back with the Clippers, yeah.
What'd you think of that trade, though? The 3-way deal.
I think the Lakers made out.
The Lakers definitely made out, but I think Danny Ainge is brilliant. I mean, think about it. This same trade was being talked about before the season started. Danny Ainge was like, you pay Russ 23, 24 million first, and then we'll revisit it. And we'll get the full write-off at the end of the year, 47 million off the books or whatever. So from Danny's perspective, I thought it was brilliant. For Minnesota's position, they didn't want to extend D'Lo for big money. So they were kind of trapped. He was sniffing around for an extension, and they didn't want to give it to him. So I also think that they have 2 centers, but Anthony Towns is an asset now. If they're smart, they can do something with that pick, because I think Joe Bear has proved that he is a viable option there. So those 2 guys playing together, I don't think it's going to happen long term, but Cat is still a viable chip for them to maneuver in some way.
Cat to the Warriors?
Yeah, maybe Portland.
For Draymond?
Karl Anthony Towns is the number 27 all-time in points per game career. It just seems insane to me.
The guy's an enormous talent. I mean, I've seen him have some nights where I'm like, wow, this guy's incredible.
Yeah, he's
What do you guys think, though, of the Lakers? Because the Lakers are on the outside looking in, but they're at 25-30. The Blazers are only 2 wins in front of them. The Warriors are only 3 wins in front of them. Does this move, the Lakers adding D'Lo, Beasley, and Vanderbilt, give them a chance to maybe get into the play-in?
Absolutely it does. They upgraded. I think D'Angelo Russell is an upgrade compared to Russell Westbrook. I see Ryan shaking his head. What are you thinking, Ryan?
Oh, I know. I'm like just so astonished, because he is clearly an upset.
Okay.
Also, wait, the one thing that hasn't been mentioned is that the first round pick, if it ends up being a top 4 pick in 2027, it's not like, oh, the next year you get it. It just turns into a second round pick. So they could be giving up a second round pick if they're in the bottom of the I don't understand it really. Like if
the Lakers are in the bottom of the league in 27.
In 27, if they're bottom 4 in the lottery, so if they have a top 4 pick,
they should be pretty close, because there'll be no LeBron. There'll be basically nobody on this team. So
essentially, I think the Lakers really upgraded their roster here, getting Malik Beasley. He's a quality shooter. Getting Vanderbilt, who's just a young wing, who I think is pretty good and still developing. The guy's getting better every year. So the Lakers, I do think they're going to sneak into a play-in, and they could be a dangerous matchup against a 2 or a 3 seed if they start rolling. I'm a NorCal guy. I root against these SoCal teams.
Absolutely.
Lakers got better today.
I think what's going to do them in is that incestuous. They got Beasley and his stepson, Scottie Pippen Jr. I think that's what's going to do them in.
We're just getting rolling here on the Krueg Show. Ryan,
that is
Danny,
weird, though. That's very weird.
That is
Baller, Red. Warriors do not win in Portland. Warriors get the Lakers this weekend. We've seen LeBron in the last 24 hours pass Michael Jordan. We've got the NBA trade deadline coming up tomorrow. Are the Warriors going to do something? We got news today on Brock Purdy, some news coming out of the Super Bowl, a lot of interesting stuff. DeMaurice Smith wants to do away altogether with the combine. We got a number of things that we want to hit here. But before we hit any of it,
the Phoenix Suns are nearing a blockbuster trade to acquire Brooklyn star Kevin Durant, sources tell ESPN.
No.
I was just thinking of Durant. And I was thinking about the Warriors.
Takeoff. Larry, I was talking to Dan last night. I called him in the late at night, and I was like, I have an epiphany. The Warriors need to trade for Kevin Durant. And then I just pitched this whole reason why he was definitely gone, and what? Oh, damn!
What did they trade?
Hasn't come
Let's
out
see
yet.
Who it's got. It hasn't heard breaking. Yeah, the Phoenix Suns are closing in on a trade.
Sent it.
Acquired 13 league sources tell The Athletic. Oh, that's reported by Shams.
Listen. 2 nights ago, we were here, and I said, if KD wants out of Brooklyn, he's gone, right?
Yep, you did.
He's gone. And I'm going to tell you straight up, KD was not on board with Brooklyn trading Kyrie Irving. And I'm going to tell you why. Do you think these players really give a you know what about owners spending money? Their money.
No.
They don't care. And like it or not, Kyrie and KD, with all of the drama, had something going, and they traded him, because they didn't want to pay him, because they didn't want to lose control. And that pissed KD off. I'm telling you straight up. There's no way in hell he was going to be in Brooklyn with Dinwiddie and my other guy from I can't think of his name right now.
So I got to think the deal is probably KD makes $44 million. Wow.
It's going to be Crowder.
So I got to
and
think
Chris
it's going to be
Paul.
Chris Paul, who makes 28.
It could
Crowder, who makes 10. So that's 38.
Could be
So
8.
then you'd probably need to come up with somebody else. Maybe Dario
Markel.
Saric.
No,
Dario
Markel.
Saric.
Cam Smith.
My guess is it's Dario Saric, Jay Crowder, Chris Paul, and some kind of pick situation. That would be
Or
my
it could
guess.
be Cam Johnson.
Yeah,
Cam
probably
Johnson, I think they like. I think
they
they
like
Yeah,
him,
but you're
he's
getting
gotta get
KD.
No, here's the package. Are we speculating on the package? No, Shams
Yeah,
tweeted
just tell us
the,
the package.
the Nets are trading Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns for a package including Mikal Bridges,
Yep.
Cam Johnson,
Yep.
4 first-round picks,
Mhm.
and additional draft compensation.
They're keeping Paul.
I like it.
They're
Wait,
keeping
yeah.
Paul.
Mike, wait.
It's Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and 4
No, that's only
first-round
$26
picks.
million. It must be something else. Some other players got to be in there, or some kind of trade exception. Maybe Phoenix is a trade exception. Cam Johnson makes 5.8, and Bridges makes 20. So 20.1.
I see this look on Rye
That's 26 million. KD makes 44 million.
You said Saric, though. Saric could be thrown in there. I don't know if he is or not.
Saric would add another 10.
Yeah,
Well-
they can make it work.
I'm so butthurt because I did this whole spiel to Dan, and I was like, "Damn, how do I get this take out there?" And then we were like, "Oh, we just wait till Wednesday night. Like, the big trades aren't going to happen until Thursday." And I was going to plead that the Warriors needed to trade Wiggins, Wiseman, Moody.
Wiggins, I just looked it up, though. I put him in the trade machine.
Yeah.
Doesn't work because he signed an extension.
Yeah,
It has to
Wiggins
be Draymond.
cannot be traded until a date in April, which is after
Had to
the
be.
trade
Would have had to
deadline.
been
So
Draymond
essentially,
to make it work.
He
I
cannot
think
be traded until the summer.
I think Josiah is officially the worst owner in the NBA right now.
No, because I had explained this whole thing to Dan. I see what they're doing. They literally are like, okay, we are handicapped for the next, 6-7 years. We gave all this power to Kyrie and KD. Obviously, it didn't work out. That's okay. New owner. It's okay. It's okay. Let's just not keep making it worse, because right now you are not going to be able to compete in the Eastern Conference. It's too deep. KD can't carry that whole team by himself with Ben Simmons, all this stuff. It's like you're not going to be going for a championship, so you might as well just try and get younger, get some assets back, and just be a team that makes the playoffs, maybe wins a series just for the next, because you don't even have your picks. So
They could just resign Kyrie.
no,
They won like
they want to start anew. They want to just be Joe Tsai's like, I'm done with that. I seeded all that. I'm done with that. Let's just go back to the way it was.
They're getting 4 picks, though, from Phoenix,
They're
right?
getting 4 picks.
Are they
it's
getting
gonna take
4
them 3 or
ones?
4 years. It's gonna take 3 or 4
Yeah,
years.
Oh, easily.
They made it's totally their whole future is totally speculative at this point, right? I mean, come on, they have no foundation pieces. Yeah, picks are nice, but you gotta show that you can go in the draft and build a team. I mean, that's a blank slate. I don't know. I mean,
But
in
Larry,
a
you
town like New York, where they were already second fiddle to the Knicks, it's like Brooklyn took a major step back. They're gonna have a hard time having anybody fill up the Barclays. Let's do this because this leads right into what I want to get into tonight, which is we're on the eve of the NBA trade deadline. Are the Warriors going to do something? We have some late breaking news on Golden State's thinking. So let's do that in just a second. But first, we need to mention that Pig and a Pickle is the title sponsor of the Krueg Show. And thanks to Pig and a Pickle, check them out. They've got 2 locations. They're at 341 Corte Madera Town Center in Marin County in Corte Madera. And they are also in the public marketplace in Emeryville, open 7 days a week. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue you're ever going to find. The pulled pork, the brisket, the baby back ribs, the chicken, the house-made hot links. all the extra sauces, the dipping sauces, the potato salad, the coleslaw, the ranch style beans, the beef brisket chili is amazing. Their collard greens are amazing. Cornbread, their kettle chips cooked in beef tallow are absolutely mouthwatering. Check out Pig in a Pickle. Damon and Mary's Pig in a Pickle. They're the title sponsor of the Krueg Show. As I said, 2 locations. Emeryville, open Wednesday through Sunday and 7 days a week in Marin County. Go to Pig in a Pickle, get that barbecue, and tell them that Krueg sent you. All right, guys, big day tomorrow in the NBA. Last year, there were 16 deadline deals. Are the Warriors going to do anything between now and the deadline? It's an interesting thing because there are reports that circulating that the Warriors are being more aggressive than they've been in recent days, that they're letting people know that, James Wiseman is available, that Moses Moody is out, and, most definitely available. They're in a very interesting situation because they really have a lot of pressure on them to do stuff because they're a championship team with now players in decline, and they're trying to get that one more title. And it says multiple rival executives consider the Warriors good bets to make a move by the deadline. One guy was quoted as saying, "To me, there's nobody more incentivized toward making a deal than the Warriors." This is one of the league exec told this website, pointing to the Warriors' veteran stars. He says, right now, this is one of those years you can't waste this year. You've got to roll with this year. In other words, they don't want to waste Steph's future. The Warrior. What do you guys think? I mean,
I got a guy.
Where are you at Golden State? What do you think they get done between now and tomorrow's deadline? I think 1 o'clock Pacific.
12
noon.
Okay.
Yep.
Listen, I think the Warriors got to make a move at this point. All right. The Suns, I don't know if you guys agree, but the Suns are now at the top of the Western Conference in my mind.
Easily
this trade, getting Kevin Durant. So if you want to compete, Warriors got to go out there and get not just a 7th, 8th guy. I got a name for you.
Wait. Can we get Dan to press pass and send him down to Phoenix?
Yeah, let's get Dan down in Phoenix. How about Bojan Bogdanovic? Let's get him off the Pistons, right? And I was tinkering around with the trade machine earlier today. It's going to take Wiseman. It's going to take Moody. And you got to throw in the point guard, Jerome. Jerome makes it work for some reason. Throw in those 3 guys. Get Bogdanovic over here. That guy's a scorer, and that's a punch. It'd be a huge punch off the bench.
I like the player, but I mean, tonight was exhibit A of what the Warriors face at the end of the year and in the playoffs. They need a big guy. They need a big guy who's not great, but they need somebody who can play defense and rebound because they're getting killed. And, if you're not going to play Wiseman, and I can see you building a thesis for that, you got to get somebody in return who can help them inside. But I like Bogdanovic. If you can get him for something else, but they got to get a big guy in return. Maybe it's a 3-team deal. I don't know.
Wait. I have something super interesting. How about this? I didn't even realize this. The Suns' new owner, they've been in limbo for like the entire year. The Suns' new owner, they just voted and approved him. So he officially became the owner yesterday.
Last week.
He ain't playing. He's not playing. Yeah. I saw his presser today. That dude's a madman. He ain't playing.
Joe Lacobs is
how so is he a madman? What'd he say?
I mean, he's like, yo, I want to be the best at everything. Yeah. I don't care if it's making popcorn or whatever. He goes, I'm a straight shooter. If I'm going to do something, you can call me up and I'll tell you I'm going to do it. He talked about all the people he knows. I know Magic Johnson. He goes, yeah, I'm down with Izzo. I'm down with this guy. And I want to win. I mean, he's like Bowman on steroids, man.
He paid an insane amount for the team. Like it's this guy is a baller. He's
hopefully he has the same results as the Clippers owner
Ballmer.
Ballmer, yeah, because he came in swinging and he was like, I'm gonna get me a championship, and he hasn't been able to do it. So interesting. But you're definitely the Suns. My thought was, shoot, that vaults them, like Baller said, right to the top. I mean, they
kind
got
of
to
makes
be.
Golden State feel like they probably have to do something to respond. I mean, they've got an awful lot of dead spots on their roster.
That's how I see it.
They were
It's
able to keep
interesting.
8-2. They got 8-2.
They kept 8.
Phoenix is the squad right
Loaded.
now, man.
Remember when they didn't?
They gave very little. If that's all they did, it's you. Are you 100% sure that's the entire trade? It's
Gotta be.
Mikal Bridges and
Johnson.
Cam
Cam
Johnson.
And 4 first-round picks.
And
And
4
it's
That's all
first
they're going to get. I mean, listen,
Probably
KD told the owner, I'm out of here. And they had to trade him.
Yeah. They're just going to go back to being they're going to be just kind of a nice 8 seed, like the Chicago Bulls or something.
OG says Crowder's being thrown in that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably to make, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Crowder figured. Yeah, that's right. Crowder was
whatever. He wasn't even playing anyway.
Whose team is it in Brooklyn?
I mean, if you think about it, I mean Phoenix is now the team to beat in the West for sure.
Wait, can we bet on Cam Thomas to average the most points in the league by the end of the year?
He's incredible, man.
Hey, check
He's
your.
he's one of the great young scorers.
Check the odds and see if you can get something in for Phoenix before
I
it
did.
changes.
I got them at plus 350 to win the Pacific.
Did it change?
I haven't
Let me
looked.
see.
That's an amazing get for the Suns. Well, that was the big question. It's you know what? Do the Warriors need to do something to win a title? No. Who's going to look good in the West? But guess what? Now the Suns make that move, and the Suns look quite a bit like the best team in the West.
Put it this way: if we're playing NBA 2K22 right now, and you had the Warriors, who would you be the most mad if the other person picked as their team? It's the Suns. The Suns.
The Suns now.
Loaded, man. Booker's there too.
Oh, there's so much going on in the West. FanDuel locked the whole Western.
Oh yeah.
Conference.
CP. Wait, let's think about this. What is the starting lineup? It's CP3, Booker, KD, DeAndre Ayton, and who cares?
Right.
That's
matter.
Nuts.
Is there a player out there that you think Golden State now ought to try to get to match up?
LeBron.
Pascal Siakam?
You know what? I mean, I guess they're not interested in trading him. But again, I've said it. I would love Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah.
I like
would
Wendell
love
Carter.
him.
I do.
He'd be great for the Warriors.
Wait, can I pose a hypothetical to you all? I want all your honest answers. Okay, let's just in your brain play this through. The season ends. The Suns end up just being a wagon. They win. The Warriors are kind of injured. Then the Warriors need to retool. LeBron James says he tries. He's like, Curry, come on, man. Let's team up and take down KD. Let's just fucking dunk on KD and just win one more. We both finish with more than him. Would you guys do that? Because I think
no.
I would. I would at that.
I don't think I would. I don't want to partner with LeBron. I don't want to help LeBron get any more rings. It's
What if
just
he's
too
meek? What if he's meek and getting to the end?
I don't know. To me, this is interesting though. Portola 45 says if the Nets cut Jay Crowder, buy him out, maybe he'd be in the buyout market for Golden State. That makes sense.
Not bad.
Yeah.
We got this super chat G code. That's what I said. Go get Bojan Bogdanovic.
That's right, G code. Go get Bogdanovic. Dude,
yeah, from the guy from Detroit. He's a shooter.
Can we get both Bogdanoviches, like the Giants with Rodgers?
Here's an interesting
No,
one.
they're not really
good.
This I could picture being the Warriors' move tomorrow. Mark Lopez. Larry, what do you think of James Wiseman, Moses Moody for Caruso and Drummond?
I mean,
Frank said it. You need a big coming back. Kerr loves Caruso. Hey. Drummond is a big coming back. They really, I believe, Drummond. Let me check that, but I think Drummond might be a free agent at the end.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Basically there's been an awful lot of talk this week, and this is kind of a loser talk in my mind, but there's an awful lot of talk this week about how just divesting yourself of James Wiseman will save Joe Lacob $131 million. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I didn't think that's what Joe Lacob was all about at this point, but that is an awful lot of money. I mean, he seems like the kind of guy that, he's a self-made billionaire. He always thinks big. But in this case, this trade that Mark is suggesting, they would have a big, they would get Caruso, who Kerr loves. He is a terrific addition. They would give them a rotation player for two guys that aren't in the rotation. And then Drummond at the end of the year walks, and they wind up getting Caruso and saving probably $100+ million. And maybe I could even see, to me, that would even be selling a little short on Wiseman Moody. I'd like that to be like Caruso and Drummond and a future pick. But if that was the deal, that might be the best deal you're going to get for these guys. And you would get an immediate big man replacement and an immediate rotation player who is going to play defense, who your coach loves.
Think about matching up against Phoenix. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, throw someone else in. You need defense. They need defense.
Caruso, in a lot of ways, is the personification of that. So that one, if you'd said that to me 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I don't know. Drummond, really? And Caruso seems like a selling really low. But if somehow you could get a pick involved in that, and now you've got a little bit of a future something, and you could save $100 million, and you're going to look terrible if James Wiseman becomes a superstar, of course. But if you win another title, and if you said, of all the players out there that are really gettable in trades, which guy could help put a Golden State over the top? If I could make a very compelling argument that player is Caruso, from the standpoint of they don't need a whole lot, and they're not getting anything out of Wiseman or anything out of Moody. So you're basically giving nothing in the present away, and you're adding Caruso on defense. That makes them better. That absolutely makes them better. Would they win it all? I don't know, but I think they'd have a shot to. What do you guys think?
Sorry, one more thing.
Did you guys make that trade?
Okay, first of all, yes, I would. But second of all, it's not even just about this year, because it's not like, KD's going to be there for 1 year. KD has the same contract as Steph. KD's going to be here for 4 years. And their team is young. Although Chris Paul is 37, their team is young. Ayton's 24. Booker's 26. Jock Landale, 27. Whatever. Campaign, 28. They're Damian Lee. Their team is relatively young. Like, they are going to be hard to beat for the next 4 years. So the Warriors have to be thinking about that as well. Like, they can't just go all in this year and blow it going forward. But I don't think Caruso's that. I mean, I don't think Caruso's bad. I think Caruso could be good.
I think the $100 million is an issue.
Yeah.
I think it's a real issue. And the Warriors want to win a championship. And I think that they still feel with a serviceable big like a Drummond, who's not a great player, but he's a physical guy. They think they can revamp. Maybe they can steal another championship, because in a 7-game series, they can still be competitive and possibly beat anybody. But I think that Lakers is a guy that wants to balance his books, man. I mean, and again, if you keep Wiseman, you're going to have to extend him at some point. And they don't want to do that.
And somebody will.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was against this trade, trading Wiseman for Caruso a month ago. But with the lack of progress we've seen, I mean, we've barely seen him on the court, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready to pull the trigger at this point.
Warriors, I think everybody is. I think
got to make a move. I tried to hold on to the potential that is James Wiseman, but we haven't seen anything. At this point, yes, I'm making that move. Drummond can come off the bench, just bang down low with some big boys. Yeah.
Well, I was looking at some trades and running them through the machine. And basically, if you want to get a super impact player like Siakam or something like that, you have to get rid of Draymond because of the salary. So no one else is tradable, Clay, and they're not going to do that. So I don't think anybody major, is coming back. It's going to have to be solid role type players.
They have pieces to make a move. Even like Ayton isn't even necessarily a lock to stay. Like they could move Ayton for someone freaking awesome.
Oh, you mean the Suns?
They have a lot of flexibility with that roster.
Oh, I know. I mean, the thing with the Warriors, though, it's like, they've got to kind of worry about their own situation. For them, it's just about, can they get one more ring with this group? I think Golden State understands that, they were trying the 2 timeline deal, but then they realized that the guys on the second timeline weren't really on the way to leading them to a title. They love Kuminga. They understand his value, but they're open to move Moody or Wiseman. Jaguar says, whatever it takes, get Miles Turner, good D, and he's 26. He ain't going anywhere. They just signed an extension, and, this Indiana made it perfectly clear that Miles Turner is going nowhere. So Miles Turner, I think, is going to be in Indiana for the foreseeable future. I think it's interesting. I mean, I threw out the Moses Moody for Duarte move, and I could see that. But the Caruso Wiseman thing with the Bulls, I think that probably works when you mix in what Frank's talking about, the $100 million that they can save. Now, the way Caruso's deal, he's under contract at really reasonable money for the next 3 seasons. See, this season, next season, and the 2024-2025 season, he's under $10 million. Talking about $9 million. So you're getting a really good defensive player, a really good role player. I saw a quote today at 95.7 The Game. I think Zaza Pachulia was on 95.7 The Game today, and Zaza was asked about James Wiseman, and basically was like, hey, James Wiseman, it's like they were asking about practicing James Wiseman, and he's like, well, he needs to practice for, and get better, no matter if he's on this team or another team. So it's like, that was really an indication that they're really thinking about moving on from
Who
James.
made that comment?
Zaza Pachulia. I'm going to see if I can find it here on their
Twitter. Like the idea of like Zaza maybe throwing some jabs at him, because Zaza, even though I like Zaza, like he was like just the ultimate
here it is. This is pretty good. Zaza Pachulia on advice that he gave James Wiseman with all the trade rumor buzz going on. It's hard, but he has to understand that this is a business and try to focus on the things he can control. Wait a second. Let's see if I have the full quote here. Yeah, he goes, he said, there are things you can't control as a player. All you can do is continue to be a pro and work hard. You're going to need today's workout, today's progress, no matter what jersey you're wearing. I mean, it's like,
wow.
That's pretty much an indication that they're going to make a trade for James Wiseman. And if they could get, I don't like the idea of Wiseman for Caruso, because it's just, give me something more on Caruso, but
Caruso different, Larry. I feel like you'd be down.
Well, how old is Caruso?
28, about 27, 28.
Yeah. So you're getting a 28-year-old kind of a role player. I always liked Caruso. I thought he was the key to the Lakers bubble team. I thought the Lakers were stupid for getting rid of Caruso, but I guess I would just, to me, in a deal involving Wiseman, it would sure be nice if you got one other piece to the puzzle that had some upside. And just looking at their roster, I don't really see that piece. I mean, obviously they got DeRozan and Levine, but they're not moving them.
And what is the team that is like, that's like how I'm trying to think of it. Like who?
Orlando. That's the guy.
Would they give up a first round?
Carter's the guy.
Wendell Carter?
Yeah, he's the guy.
But why would they give up Carter? They wouldn't give up Carter for Wiseman.
I mean,
I'm hearing, Frank, they want to trade Mo Bamba and Terrence Ross.
You know what? I mean, I would not even look at that. If you, I mean,
than them.
Yeah, I mean, the $100 million matters. So I think that's probably the number one option. I'm going to go for 1 second. If we go back to draft night, what did I say? I said draft Jalen Williams, and your problems would be solved. This dude is he's your quintessential backup center, and the Warriors could have taken him.
You talking about Jalen Williams, Arkansas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you meant Jalen Williams, Santa Clara.
No. Arkansas. That's the guy I said draft. He would have been perfect.
even Koloko is like balling kind of like in a way that they could use. Like he's a very good defensive player, tons of rebounds, blocks.
Who's got Koloko?
The
Toronto.
Raptors.
Yeah.
The Raptors. Yeah, I like Koloko. Christian Koloko, he can run the floor, block shots.
Yeah. They could. I mean, that's like the level of guy. I feel like they almost like. I don't know.
They're in a weird spot because, like, on a night like tonight, I mean, it should be a reminder they need size, and it's like and you got James Wiseman sitting there, and you can't introduce him to your situation. Now you're going to trade him potentially, and I like Caruso, but I mean, and I'm not saying we're just creating that because that rumor's been out there, but I think the Bulls would do that deal. And doesn't give you a big, I don't, unless you could somehow grow that deal or throw some other players to Chicago and maybe get something better than that. I mean, I like Patrick Williams, the Florida State kid,
Right. Yeah.
He makes $7 million. Could you trade Moody and, if you could get Patrick Williams in the deal, now I'm more interested. Why? Because you got a young asset there who's kind of exciting, and in the Warriors situation, he could be really, really good. The Illinois point guard, Dosunmu Ayo, he's pretty athletic. And then Dalen Terry, who played at Arizona. Do you like Dalen Terry, Frank?
He has excellent basketball instincts. His shot is not quite NBA ready, so he has a lot of tendencies. But in 2 or 3 years, I think he could be pretty good because he's a good all-around player. But his shot is just not there, which is why he hasn't played a whole lot this year. But I like him. Yeah, I like him as a player.
Yeah, they just need. I mean, I think Golden State definitely needs to do something if they want to contend for a title. G-Code Travel Vlog says, "I'll call it Warriors trade for Zach LaVine." Well, Zach LaVine makes $37 million.
You can't do it.
He's going nowhere.
You can't do it because you got to trade Draymond. That's it. And then you got to.
Trade Draymond.
I don't think they would do it.
I mean, maybe
I would.
Depends. The thing is, it all hinges on Curry. Like they could withstand they could take him down. Like her, Also, there's always injuries, but Curry has to get back soon because they seriously. Now that there's a team like the Suns out there, I don't think they can win it as a 6 seed. Even if they're a 6 seed.
I mean, can the Warriors? I mean, realistically, could the Warriors do this without Draymond? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean,
no.
I say no.
I don't think they probably could. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is interesting that if Clay is what did you say, right? Kerr said he's a 3-4.
Yeah, he said he views him more as a 3-4 like defensively now.
Or was it 2-3?
He said he used to view him as a 2-3. Now he views him as a 3-4.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, LaVine, the thing about Draymond is Draymond's walking at the end of the year. Okay, I mean, think about this from Golden State's perspective. Joe Lacob wants to be good and entertaining, not just this year, going forward. If they've decided that Green is walking at the end of the year, and they decided that Wiseman isn't good, you can trade Green and Wiseman and some other piece, maybe Moses Moody, maybe Jermichael Green, basically anything at that point. And that adds up perfectly to LaVine. And the one thing about LaVine is a high riser. He's super athletic and fun to watch. And he's signed for this year, next year, the year after that, and then has a player option for $48.9 million that I would bet my life he opts in for in 26, 27. So you have him for 1, 2, 3, 4. You have him for 4 seasons after this year. And he's athletic and in 6'6", and a team with LaVine and Steph and Clay and Poole. I mean, I'd pay $52 for 3 beers to watch.
The score might be 150 to 150 because I don't know how much defense is going to be.
But I mean, if they decide, I think Draymond's out at the end of the year. There's been several indications of that. And
what if he goes to the Suns?
I mean,
I mean, he becomes the 4 for the
But
Suns.
you don't want him on the Suns, and you don't want him on the Lakers.
Or he
So
goes
this
to
is a way you could
Grizzlies?
send Draymond to Chicago. I think Chicago would love Draymond. I mean, heck, he's college ball was in the Midwest. To me, that you give them, I mean, if you could grow that deal and get Caruso and Levine, something like that, and a bigger deal involving Moody and Jermichael. Now, I think if I'm Lakeup, I've got something. I've really got something. I can go forward with that without Draymond and feel like I'm packing the house and I'm going to be competitive and fun.
And who
to
you
watch.
getting? Zach LaVine?
I'd be getting Levine and Caruso, and I'd be giving up Wiseman, Draymond, and probably Moody, and maybe Jermichael Green.
That's
You're trading a winner in Draymond Green for Zach LaVine, who, while he is he has some talents to him. He ain't
but
a
if
winner.
He's leaving anyway.
I'd rather go to Toronto and get.
But if Draymond's leaving at the end of the year, baller, don't you think?
No, I don't. I think Draymond is probably going to opt in because no one's going to pay him whatever he's due, $25 million. And I could be wrong. Some team could pay him that, but I still think there's a chance that he opts in.
Hey, this is the Warriors actually have, in a way, it's a good thing the deal was done tonight because Bob Myers works really good
late at night
when he's backed up against the wall. Like when Durant left,
show on in the background.
When Durant left, he had very little time, and he had to make that deal to get D'Lo, which turned into,
it'd be a really awesome thing for the channel is if Bob Myers made this huge, altering trade and said that he heard it from Dan Cochimilio on the Krueg show.
That's right. There you go.
Before, and that's where the idea came from. And then he decided to make the call, and it just so happened the GM was up, and he also was watching the Krueg show and said, "You know what?" They called it like the Dan Cochimilio Memorial Trade. Could you imagine how big the channel would blow up if all of a sudden people thought that Dan was breaking trades?
Yeah, right. Let me ask you this, guys: would you guys make this deal just to try to? Would it make them better to trade Wiseman and Moody to Atlanta for Okongwu and Justin Holiday, kind of a 3-and-D?
I just don't. There's been no rumor at all that Atlanta wants to move Okongwu, but I love Okongwu. He's we all saw him at SC. Yeah. He's a ridiculous long arm shot blocker.
You wouldn't make the deal?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying I haven't heard Okongwu's name mentioned.
Yeah, but
I
could
think
they
Atlanta,
do that by sweetening it up with some ones, like a future one?
It's a good idea, Danny, because the architect who built that roster. I mean, if you want any of those guys from Trae Young right on down, I'd be making all kinds of phone calls because there's not a GM there that's tied to those decisions. So
because
they're like a blank slate. They could do anything.
You look at the salaries. It's
I love Okongwu.
It would be 13.3. Wiseman and Moody would be like 13.3 for Holiday and Okongwu, which is 12.5. So it's just like, it works. But I think what it would do is it give the Warriors like a shot blocker, another threat down there. When Looney's out, you can have Okongwu in there, and then Holiday.
I don't know that there are any indications that they want to move him at all.
I don't think the Hawks make that trade.
But what if you sweetened it with a future one?
Well, possible, but there's been no let's just say this. There's been a bunch of rumors tied to Atlanta in the last 2.5 months. I don't know that any of them have included Okongwu. And I think that's for a reason. I think they view him as kind of a foundation piece. But I love it. I mean, that would be a young player that I'd be interested in. Fozzie says if the Warriors don't do anything by the deadline, what does that tell us about the Bob Myers situation? I mean, just the fact that Myers is as accomplished as he is, and he's in a lame duck situation on the contract, to me tells me that Bob wants to keep his options open, or that he just wants more money. Mm-hmm. He either wants more money or he wants to keep his options open, or maybe he knows that Joe is angling to have his sons play Bob's role. And Joe could look at that situation and say, I've got Larry Harris and I've got some really good scouts. And I actually think I know what I'm, the board pretty well as well. I'll just let Kirk be Bob, and Bob just kind of builds a consensus anyway, and leans on Larry. As long as you've got Larry Harris, Joe may feel he's okay. He doesn't need to pay Bob, and he could have his own. But I think that's dangerous because I think he does need to pay Bob. And I think Bob I think Joe's reign with the Warriors as the owner. I mean, it's started off incredibly well, but Jerry Jones started off incredibly well in Dallas as well. And it's just because you start hot doesn't mean that you're going to have the right equation. Now, I think he's way smarter than Jerry, and I don't think he'll make the kind of mistakes that sink his franchise. But it seems from an outsider looking in, like Joe is more hands-on today than maybe he was initially. And that when you mix in his sons, that he's a lot more hands-on than he used to be. And I get the picture that, that maybe that's why Bob's in a lame duck contract situation. What's your guys' read on Myers?
One of the things about Myers that I think is somewhat understated is he's kind of he's kind of a fixer. He's not only like a general manager in the true sense of evaluating talent and salary cap and all that other stuff, but I think that he mentors players in ways that sometimes coaches can't. I mean, he's been around since Draymond's been there, Clay's been there, Steph's been there, and I think that matters because when you look at the Warriors, I was thinking about this yesterday. The Warriors have their share of problems that could wreck other organizations. But somehow, no matter what happens with the Warriors, they smooth it out and they move forward. And I would have to give Bob Myers some credit for that. And that's a unique skill set that it's understated, but I see it. And I think if he's not with the Warriors, they become more of a tinderbox than they ever were before.
This is interesting from Tom Jensen. He says the Suns are sending Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks, a 2028 pick swap for Durant and TJ Warren. So TJ Warren, who had a 50-point game.
TJ Warren too?
Yeah, they got TJ Warren as well. That gives them just 2 real marksmen.
Oh, so
TJ Warren scored 50 in a game. He's a 6'8" guy that is he's a tremendous offensive player.
He's a former Sun. I mean, they love him.
How are you talking there, Rye? You're not moving.
Wait, you can't see me?
No, your picture's frozen.
Oh, what the hell?
Your camera froze.
Ventriloquist? You're good, man. That's amazing. Do it again. Say something else.
Wait, I can't tell what's going on.
Kevin F says you can't trade Draymond. Brian Iglesia, I call him 95.7. Brian says Warriors might be the 12th or 13th seed by the All-Star break.
That's only
who guards KD?
Wiggins.
Wiggins.
Kevin F says Clay can't guard KD. Yeah, it would be Wiggins.
Yeah, but they switch a lot of stuff anyway. So
Michael Taylor says Draymond for Levine. God, no.
So they've got
get this one. Eddie says I'd move Dre in a deal to get Siakam, but I don't think Toronto would go for it.
No way.
Why would they do that?
I mean, here's the thing. I think if you're Golden State, any move you make has to be like, I love the Caruso move. I love the idea of adding Caruso, but that's a little bit, even though he signed for the next couple of years, I think they're trying to do something bigger. And to me, I don't think, if it's just Wiseman for Caruso, I think the Warriors are risking too much, because if Wiseman figures it out, that could look really bad and down the road. But maybe they have a conviction on Wiseman. I'll say this. I'm watching Wiseman the other night in the game that he played, and somebody took a shot and made a three, and he's down under the block, and he's got position, right? He's got and his team shooting, and he's got offensive rebound position, and the defender comes and just kind of pushed him off to the side. And instead of pushing back, he just allowed himself to get pushed off the play. The shot went, so it didn't matter, but he didn't know it was going to go while he was getting pushed off the rebounding spot. And it was kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say James is a gigantic marshmallow, but to me, he's closer to marshmallow than any kind of a force. I don't see I see talent, but I don't see a force at all.
Well, Penny Hardaway did him a disservice. Penny Hardaway admitted, in the draft process, trying to hype up James Wiseman. He said, well, I trained James Wiseman to be a guard. And you see it out there. It's like, well, Penny,
that is the most facts ever. That's why he doesn't know he's not comfortable playing with his back to the basket.
Yeah. And he lacks just sitting on the bench game after game, just doing more damage because it's just his confidence. He doesn't have it. You can see it in his face. He's even when the players are talking to him, he's a very nice young man. He's just like, they're talking to him and he's nodding his head. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's not getting any chance to grow his mental game by sitting. He's not even, so when he goes out there, he's playing with a trepidation instead of like a force because he knows if he does one thing wrong, he's back on the bench. So, I think the better move for him the last few weeks would have been down in the G League, let him get playing time, develop him, let him dominate. He had one game where he got 30 points on the road this year. I mean, he was playing a lot and he got not in the G League, but for the Warriors. So I don't know what is going to happen with him, but he doesn't look like a guy that is, has this mojo about him. Like, hey, put me out here and I'm going to dominate. He doesn't seem to have that anger.
Miami would love him, but they don't want to give anything up. They don't have any assets to really give up. I think people look at Wiseman as a piece of clay. And yeah, he is not innately tough, but you can kind of push guys to see if they have heart. We don't really know these things about Wiseman because he hasn't played, but he's not a real physical player. But I still think the teams look at him and say, you know what, we might have something there. But they don't want to give the Warriors anything for Wiseman at this point.
No.
As far as the Warriors and how they may fare at the deadline and how this tonight may impact them, the one thing I see as maybe a direct impact is maybe we see Crowder as a buyout candidate now, and I could see them going for him.
Oh, that would be good. That would really add to the rivalry.
Excuse me. I mean, don't you think? I mean, I think Crowder would be a good fit for the Warriors.
Absolutely.
But Phoenix was never going to be about moving him to the Warriors. But now, if he gets bought out, maybe there's an avenue for them to add that piece to the puzzle. That and okay, I know Golden State loves Caruso, but man, they're risking a lot by trading Wiseman, and they need size. But if you're telling me that they could get a wing player or some toughness in Crowder or somebody else off the buyout market, and then add somebody, like a Caruso or Levine or any kind of a perimeter oriented player, I don't know that Golden State's one move away, but I definitely think they need to kind of think big and think not just about this year, think about next year. Because if Green really is going to walk at the end of the year, and there's several indications that he's going to. Now, I don't know. I agree with you, Baller, as far as I don't know that he's going to get a better deal somewhere, but I don't know if it's about cash at this point. He might be willing to, do a he might find a team that's willing to give him a multi-year deal that he's comfortable with this year. Just as easy as making that money and going next year. And then you got to worry about what's his physical condition at the end of the next year. So then he's got to be healthy a whole nother year. If I'm Draymond and the way his body is and the age that he's at right now, I'd be like, man, get me to the finish line this year. Let me secure the bag for 3 or 4 more years on a new deal. maybe I'll make less
That's
in
true.
AAV this next year than I would have if I'd stayed with Golden State, but I'll collectively make more and I can hit a reset and go where I want to go. You know what? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how all these sides feel about each other. It could be one big, kumbaya happy family for all we know, or there could be, it seems like there's cracks that have shown this year. Do you think that's fair? That it's that maybe Draymond doesn't want to be here at the end. Hey, this is the only franchise he's ever known. And he seems like when I see him interviewed, he seems like, he's so beyond the pool stuff. And he seems like he could be a lifetime Warrior, but then you keep hearing these rumors that he's going to walk.
I think Draymond is a straight professional. And as you alluded to, I think whomever is going to give him the type of contract that he feels comfortable with, then he's going to play there. It might be the Warriors, but I think he's already shifting his mindset and talking to his agent, thinking about, where can I get like another 3 years in the league at maybe not $25 million, but I think there's some teams that would pay him $20 million a year. Based on his leadership, based on
he's a winner,
versatility. Yeah.
Yeah. Motivation says Draymond's the heart and energy of our team, especially the defense. No way I would do that trade for Zach LaVine. Our defense would be way, way worse. Yeah, there's no question.
What do you
about
think
that.
of this? What do you think of this potential trade? Since he's being dealt to the Nets, Cam Johnson's 6'8", kind of a shooting 3-point shooter.
Healthy? Get him.
Get Wiseman and Moody for Cam Johnson and Seth Curry.
He's a great defensive player.
And, see if you –
I love Cam Johnson. I loved him in North Carolina.
Whatchamacallit,
didn't he tear
Mikal
his
Bridges
ACL?
is too high. His salary's $21 million. But
yeah, he did.
But
he just tore the ACL, right?
Who did?
Yeah, no. Cam is coming back.
He's coming back from the ACL?
Yeah.
When did he do back?
I think he's coming back this year. I don't think
I thought he was playing earlier this year.
He's a dead-eye shooter.
Playing earlier this year.
Oh,
I don't think he's coming back if he tore his ACL this year.
G-Code Travels Vlog. Any moves to get rid of Andre Iguodala's contract? No. Nick Sirianni owns Arizona. Warriors dynasty is over soon. Good things always come to an end.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith is down.
That's what
here.
they said before the Warriors won it last year.
Stephen A. Smith and the Mad Dog are here with their show with the Super Bowl, and KD's coming to Phoenix. It's going to be wild down here tomorrow.
Holy shit. Larry,
you guys see the Durant to the trade to the Suns? Yeah, we saw it. What were you going to say, Ryan?
How much FOMO, like fear of missing out, do you have when you just see all this fun going on in Arizona right now, and like Trey Lance, Debo doing interviews? And
by the way, did you see Stephen A. Smith? Speaking of Stephen A., is talking to Debo, and he's like, "You guys just lost the AFC Championship game."
Yeah, AFC, yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw that.
If somebody made that mistake in the basketball world on Stephen's show, he would lose it and be like, "You've got no credibility." But he can do that, and it's like, yeah, he wants us not to notice. Yeah, he said AFC title game to Debo Samuel.
Yeah, Mario, wow. I think Warriors should trade for Giannis, right?
Yeah,
maybe get Giannis. Yeah.
Like this is like actually like pretty scary.
Yeah. Well,
the Warriors are in a tough spot, man. I don't see a guy out there outside of
they don't have any
of names that we mentioned.
They can't trade anybody big that's making big money unless they and Draymond's the only guy. Draymond and Clay, and I know they're not getting rid of Clay. So I don't think unless they had a deal that I don't think getting rid of Draymond, I don't think it makes him better.
How would Steph react? How would Steph react if they got rid of Draymond?
I just think losing Draymond, it makes him worse.
Well, I mean, do you guys
makes him worse on defense? I mean, Draymond's it's all about what you're feeling on Draymond. I think Draymond is a genius basketball player. I think he's the fulcrum of everything they do. I think they win 0 rings without Draymond Green. And that I really just believe that. Now, there are people that think that's crazy, that I'm giving him way more importance than he deserves. I would push back and say that there's so many different things that he does for them that they don't have anybody else on their roster that can do those things. And so,
Nobody else.
Yes, I mean, he's their facilitator. He's their rim protector. He's their will. Like, he has the will of a Larry Bird and a Michael Jordan. That's you say, what's the greatest thing of Draymond Green? You can feel his will and his intensity coming through the game, coming through the TV set. It's like Jordan. It's like Bird. That's what, I mean, they were awesome. They're all great players, right? But these guys had that gene of crazy competitiveness and insane competitiveness that he has. And so it's like, to me, it's not accidental that he's won. And I think they would lose without him. And, but it also sounds, I'm not saying what I would do to move him for Levine. I'm just trying to read the tea leaves, and I'm looking at Joe Lacob, and I'm thinking he wants to get out from some of this money.
I think the last thing they need.
He also wants to fill his arena going forward. And if he's not going to have Wiseman in that second group, if that whole thing ain't going to happen, what can he actually have that will fill the arena? Well, guess what? You got Jonathan Kuminga. And if you had Zach LaVine to go with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole, that's a pretty entertaining 5 players right there. Yeah, you're not a complete team, but you know what? You can push past the Draymond era with some of the most dynamic players in the league offensively. I think if you told me that they were going to get Caruso and LaVine in some massive package that involved Green and Wiseman, I could totally see that. I think it totally jives with, let's win a title this year, but let's also try to keep our building packed going forward. I don't know. That's how I see it. And that's because maybe Draymond has said to them, "Hey guys, F off. I'm going elsewhere at the end of the year." You know, I don't know. I mean, if he's really going somewhere at the end of the year, wouldn't they be smart to trade him now for a player under contract?
They're still defending their title, though. That's got to. Right? But like, what do you think they have a better chance of winning a title with LaVine or with Dre? Like Dre,
I mean, you're thinking this year. I'm just thinking I don't know that they have an awesome.
They're not winning
chance to win the title with either, but I think they got a shot with both.
I think Zach LaVine is damaged, Larry. I've been watching him a lot, and he's not the high flyer now that he was before he hurt his knee. Still a very skillful player. He's solid, but they were almost compelled to give him a $200 million contract. He's not a $200 million player. I mean, he's not even the best player on their team.
No.
I mean, DeRozan. Yeah, I mean,
DeMar DeRozan is their best player.
He's their best player. And I also want to comment on what you said about Draymond. Draymond's plus minus since he came in the league is over 3,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's over 3,000.
Career plus minus.
Yeah, it's over 3,000. And I mean, Draymond's not going to be here for the next 3, 4, 5 years, but he's still playing at a high level. He's not the problem.
No, he's not the problem.
He's not.
No, I don't. But if you see, the one thing is, I think they know things that we don't know, and the way Green has talked and the hints he's made multiple references and hints to he's not going to be here at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Well, if that's the case in your Golden State, if he walks and just walks, they can't go sign anybody. They're over the cap. Yeah. But if he's going to walk at the end of the year,
you do a sign.
They traded him right now for a LaVine. They protect that salary spot. They can always, if LaVine's not the guy, not the answer, they could trade LaVine in the offseason for a number of pieces making good money. It's like he's just a salary placeholder, but he's also under contract and he is entertaining. At least the old LaVine was. I believe you though, Frank. Many high flyers, once their legs kind of leave them, they're not nearly as good of players. But I don't know. I'm just saying, if he's going to walk at the end of the year, to me, if they want to really be competitive going forward, I almost feel like it's incumbent on them to look at potential trades to see if they can.
I'd rather LeBron. He's entertaining, and people will love to hate him. LeBron.
You love LeBron, but Warrior fans hate LeBron, right?
I know, but it's like I just want rings. Let's squeeze. Like, imagine if you could have had a sixth with like the Montana 49. Like, it's worth it. You see how long it's been since the Niners have won a Super Bowl. Didn't feel like that, I'm sure, at the time.
Hey, Red, we talked before the show, and I know you said you had to jump at 11, so Red's going to check out.
All right.
But Red, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Wait, Red, before you go, people were loving your song, and somebody even said in the chat, I just wanted to tell you this. Somebody in the chat said, like, oh yeah, I love the song, went on iTunes and bought it. So I thought that was really cool.
I really appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, we love playing your song, man. It's got an incredible vibe.
All right.
Good.
All right, Frank. Have a good night, man.
Bye-bye.
See you, Frank.
Great Frank Red.
How much of Durant's request to go to Phoenix do you think is tied to wanting to beat the Warriors?
A shit ton.
I mean, he's on a stacked team.
I think it's more about wanting to win a ring, period.
True.
Yeah.
But
also,
I just think I think he was going to be happy going anywhere he could contend for a ring.
Yeah. But
I'll tell you this, man, this is the time of the year when you factor in not only like where you're going, you're in Brooklyn and now you're in, sunny Arizona, I mean,
oh my God.
I'm not sure if KD's a golfer, but I mean, look at the warm weather, Arizona. Danny, what was it like today in Arizona?
70.
He can do the same thing he did in the Bay Area. Like, he can live in LA and he
lives in Malibu.
That's like that's what, an hour flight. Who cares?
Check out the forecast for Friday and Saturday, 74, and then Saturday, 75.
Wow.
Can we just give Katie a little bit of shit before? Because we all kind of know this is going to go pretty well. And like, Katie's going to, they're probably going to win the championship if they stay healthy. Let's not forget, let's not get wrapped up in the national media narrative when they start to just going crazy about Durant. It's like, dude, he did go all the way to Brooklyn and completely exploded a franchise. That does need to be remembered. Now he's jumping to another fully stacked team that was like the 1 seed last year.
Dude, this guy bailed off of Steph Curry for Kyrie Irving. That right there is defining. But he's a nomad. That's what he is. Hey,
you never know when
that we haven't mentioned for the
injuries
Warriors
could play a
that
part
I've
too.
Seen floated out there, and it's interesting, especially if they're talking big trades. But OG Anunoby,
Toronto,
and there's been some indications the Warriors want Anunoby. A number of teams do. What do you guys think of him overall?
I like him. I think it'd be a good move. A nice wing, athletic, physical. Yeah, at this point, Wiseman.
He's going to cost a shot ton, like an insane amount.
Oh, like we're talking more than just Wiseman and Moody.
Well, like we're talking like if like the Grizzlies traded for him, it would be like a couple players and like 3 first-round picks.
Wow.
You'd have to trade. He's making $17.3 million. You'd have to trade Wiseman, Moody.
But you, Baller, you and Larry, you guys might be on it though, because if they get wind that the Grizzlies want to do that deal, because I heard that they were interested, like now the Grizzlies might be like, crap, we need like a stud wing defender that like if we're going to compete with this team, and then it's like all of a sudden that just is another dart to the Warriors because they're missing out. Other teams are getting better.
To get him, you've got to do Wiseman, Moody. Now you're only at like $12.5 million, so you still need another $5 million.
Can we get to throw in Christian Coloco?
You'd probably have to get rid of Baldwin and Jermichael Green to match the salaries.
If you did what? If you did Anunoby makes $17 million.
Yeah, so you need like an extra $5 million, which Baldwin and
Wiseman and Moody make combined 14, right?
No, not 14.
Yeah, Wiseman makes 9 and change, and Moody makes 4 and change.
Okay, so 13. So you could do it. You could do it with. You'd still have to throw in like Baldwin and Jermichael
Rollins or Jermichael Green.
You guys like Ty Jerome now? Because I'm starting to like him.
Well,
He wasn't good tonight.
he wasn't good
He was a
turnstile.
turnstile. He kicked Damian
tonight I
Lillard's
didn't like
pocket
him at
one
all.
time, and then he was just getting blown by constantly. 3 fouls in limited minutes. He was bad tonight.
The team looked damn good, fellas. The team tonight is like a championship level team, minus they just didn't have Steph. They couldn't score in the last 4 minutes because they didn't have their one of the greatest closers of all time. Like Steph, that's what they do. They just get the ball to Steph in the last 4 minutes, and
I'll tell you what, what you're saying is true, because with Clay coming back to looking like almost like his shot is looking like pre-injury Clay.
Yeah, he's driving. He's like, it's pretty good.
Oh, he looks great.
So, and he said he would be back. Just give me time. You know what he said is pretty prophetic, because he was pretty ticked. Remember when he was like, "Geez, man, give me," when he was Barkley.
Remember his beef with the Suns too?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Jesus Christ!
So you get Clay and Steph shooting like they can shoot, and you get Draymond and Wiggs playing his game. They just need more.
They're 1 or 2 rotation players away from contending for a title.
They need some guys.
And someone else. Who else could they give that's not the level of Levine, but that would complement?
They need a 6'8", 6'9" defender rebounder. Somebody
that's
that can.
Tybal. They could get Tybal.
They could get Tybal. They might need Tybal. Like, honestly, a wing defender.
Tybal. I think they could use. I think Kerr's already said, Danny, that he thinks Clay's kind of a front court player. So that's why I think Caruso does make a lot of sense, because I think we're looking at Clay as a 2 guard, but really he's looking at him as a small 3 forward. And if you added a defender like Caruso to what you already have, I think they feel good about how smart their team would be. He's also a really smart player in the half court.
Defense is what's going to win them.
It's about matching up. It's about. I think the Warriors need some piece that's. I think they'd be willing to trade, Moody and Wiseman, and maybe even a pick, and maybe even a Baldwin, if they could get Caruso and another piece from Chicago. Maybe Patrick Williams.
Vucevic, he's a free agent after this year. Vucevic,
but he makes $18 million.
Yeah, but could you pull that off with Caruso? Makes what, 8, 9? I'm not even looking
at Caruso makes 9. He makes the same as Wiseman. That's why they're being rumored to be traded.
Yeah, so there's a match there. Vucevic, maybe he can get bought out. Maybe he'll be on the buyout
this?
market.
I mean, this is an interesting one. Rebellia says Crowder would be perfect. What if
he makes
Crowder
10?
You wait on Crowder on the buyout, and you get Caruso.
Yes.
You add Caruso and Crowder to what they currently have. I still kind of think if you moved Wiseman to get Caruso, you'd need some kind of big, but maybe buyout. Maybe what's the guy for the Bulls? The other guy. Drummond. Maybe Drummond. I don't love Drummond, but he's just a placeholder. He'd be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he makes 3.2. So, you could trade Wiseman and Moody for Drummond and Caruso, and that works. And if you could
I'd like it.
You could make that trade and then pick up a guy like Crowder in the buyout.
Should I call Bob right now and see if he'll come on? And
okay, hey, Bob,
I'm not moving off.
We did it for you. We got your job done for you.
Yeah. Go. I like go more on Bogdanovich.
I'm not moving off the Bogdanovich stance. Listen, the Pistons are tanking for Wembanyama.
Yeah.
All right. It makes a lot of sense. I don't think Bogdanovich is going to stay on that team. Listen to this dude's stats.
He makes like 18 or 19 million though.
He is, but
I've
already ran it through the trade machine, Dan, and all it takes is Wiseman, Moody, and Ty Jerome. It makes $4 million on the trade machine. That's
now they've got him at 0. One side they had him on $4 million on one trade machine, and then another one now has him at 0. I don't know if he's got $4 million.
You might have to throw in a Rollins but listen to Bogdanovich's stats this year. The dude's averaging 21.4 a game. He's shooting 42% from distance.
Oh, I've seen
49% from the field.
He's playing the best basketball of his career.
He's a great shooter. Yeah.
So you sign him now. You bring him in. Now you have his early bird rights, if I'm correct. Now I haven't whipped out the NBA handbook in a while, but you have his early bird rights. You could potentially retain him. It'd be expensive, we know, but that's where you're talking about, Larry. You're still keeping that slot. So maybe you could do a sign and trade later with Bogdanovich. I'm saying that's the guy to go after because I think he's available. He's a big-time scorer. He knows how to play within an offense, right? We saw him with Quinn and the Jazz for those years. I'd be going after Bogdanovic.
Bojan Bogdanovic.
This is interesting. So EPM estimated plus minus is like my favorite NBA stats. Pretty accurate to actually how good players are. Caruso is right next to him. They are both a 1.5. Klay Thompson's a plus 1.6 right now.
What's this category?
This stat, it's like the most predictive NBA stat for the past 8 years or so. Essentially, it's like so if you look at like plus 1.7, that means that compared to the average NBA player, they add 1.7 points per possession or something, or per 100 possessions, something like that, 100 possessions. But anyway, if you go to the top, I mean, it's all the right guys. It's like Jokic, Doncic. I mean, Curry usually is the leader. But like, it has Peyton super high. It has like, if you go by defense, it's like Caruso's at the top. Then it's
OG
like
and Anunoby,
Draymond. It's all the right names. So, but anyway, it's just interesting. Yeah, look, Coloco's down here too.
If you did make that trade, by the way, for Bogdanovic, another angle on that thing is you give the Pistons Wiseman, the chances are that they buy out Nerlens Noel and you add Noel. I think Noel in a lot of ways is the big that Golden State needs. They need a young big who can play some minutes and block and defend the rim. I mean,
buy him out. Mario thinks everybody's able to get bought out. So
what's that?
Mario thinks everybody could get bought out. He says.
The Pistons do have Duren. They have Jalen Duren, the Memphis kid.
Right.
That would be a little bit, but I mean, maybe we could do a 3-way. I mean, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking, I'm already starting to talk myself into the Warriors. That the Nets did kind of get rid of like two of the guys that really make their team go. Like we've seen that a lot. You trade for the star player and you lose the depth, like the Lakers, and it's like not the same team. Bridges and Cam Johnson were like their two best defensive players. Like those guys were.
And Bridges is
like as good as it gets in terms of like guarding Steph. So now they're a little softer. Also, I think Dan, you brought this up. Is it legal for them to go after Bridges and Johnson? Because I would love one of those guys. Like if the Nets are willing to like do that now that they're not on that team. Like
I bet you they're going to keep Bridges, but you know what, Cam Johnson. I mean, that would be
a defensive player, and he shoots freaking awesome.
Yes, he's a great shooter from the
drain outside shots.
He's exactly what they need.
I mean, when the Warriors are talking shooting, that's shooting. But he's gonna. What's his situation physically?
I know he's playing. He's back playing.
Yeah,
but I mean, how's he looking? Because he had an ACL.
I think he's played like 26 games. Let me see.
He has the highest EPM on the Suns. 0.2 above Booker. Because Cam Johnson, Booker, Paul, Bridges. That's like. I mean, Cam Johnson.
He played. They just played Brooklyn the other night. That's funny. The 29 minutes he played, 14 points, 6 of 11, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. So he's back playing. 22 minutes on the fourth, 20 points. Let's see.
Damn, that would be kind of sick if they got either of those guys. That would be sick.
Yeah, I would do
Wiseman and Moody and like a pick for
Bridges would be hard to get because he's at 21 million. You'd have to, but Cam Johnson would be really good for him.
Yes,
and he's not making that much money.
No, he
either.
just like signed an extension. I think. Like
I think he's only So if he just signed an extension.
Or I'm not sure.
Well, he got traded, so that didn't stop the Suns from dealing him.
And if we got Crowder, I mean, that's another one of their tough guys. Like they're missing their tough guys now.
Yeah.
True. They say torn meniscus, not torn ACL. Was it a meniscus tear?
And that's my boy SG Sports.
Yeah, that's what I was
Shout
going to say.
Chardall.
Chardall
coming by. Yes, that's my boy Chardall. Yeah. He's a
I thought he was our guy. You're saying he's your guy?
No, it's my boy.
Chardal, man.
Or no, I'll give him to you. I'll give him to you.
Chardal is
bring Chardal in here. I kind of wouldn't mind. Let's give Chardal 30 seconds to voice his opinion. What do you think?
We take a chance?
Yeah. Chardal's a dog.
Yeah,
Chardal, get ready. Get ready to cook.
Hold on,
Hey.
Chardal. Hold on.
Oh, that's great. Shoot, I was about to dip out, but if Chardal's coming on, then I got to stay.
Oh, there we go.
You just never know who could come by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chardal.
By the way, we got this one on
Someone beats him
Kuzma.
to it.
Now, the Wizards said they're not moving Kuzma, but I get the feeling that was like, we're not moving him. Like, come
They're
make
not
us an
trading
offer.
They're not trading Looney.
God.
No.
Should we go cover the Suns? Go move out to Boca Vista?
Somebody said Dan should get rid of his Giants season tickets for Suns season tickets.
That would be electric, Dan. It'd be a good investment, honestly, because they're with this ownership.
There'll probably be big line tomorrow.
Oh. Well,
Jeez.
you can swap your Giants tickets.
Young Montana says, Bay Area baller, DM me. Do you
You
know the
DM
Young
me.
Montana?
You know, you got my Hit me, Montana.
Montana.
Don't be telling baller what to do, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
He's a
come on.
star. You don't have this.
Ballers here.
What is
Couple things that I wanted to throw your guys' way in addition to NBA because we're waiting on Chardal. I even size like, hey man, are you guys not letting me in the house tonight? And so I even dropped a little invite to Cy because Cy was rolling a little hot with the vaccine stuff. So I was giving Cy some breathing room, but maybe now he's appreciating us more because we didn't invite him tonight. Cy, leave your vax talk at home, man. That's all I got to say. But a couple things I want to throw you guys' way. Roger Goodell at his speech at the Super Bowl says the officiating in the NFL has never been better.
Classic.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Never been better.
He liar.
It's it's tremendous officiating.
Yeah.
Tremendous officiating.
How'd you guys feel about hearing like Ayuk and like Debo talk? Because it seems like they actually had a really healthy reaction that we sort of had after the people wanted us to go a little crazier, but it's like, they were like, look, I don't even necessarily feel that bad just because it's like, what the hell? That's never happened ever. Like that was insane. We could not throw a pass. The game was
I know. I mean, come on, Roger. Sorry. The officiating has been S.
Yeah.
You just missed. You just in the NFC Championship game. You just awarded a touchdown basically to a team that did not deserve one. I don't know that I'd be throwing out too many, and not to mention the New York Giants made the playoffs over Washington.
Yeah.
With some of the most dubious calls I think I've ever seen all year, and that game had the biggest sway of playoff potential. And it favored the team from the bigger TV market. I mean, that looks really
doofus
bad.
Goodell. What's Brian Iglesias says the Suns got better, the Lakers got better, the Mavs got better, and the Warriors got way worse tonight. I don't know about the last part.
Yeah, I don't know about the last part. Why'd the Warriors get way worse tonight?
Yeah, I don't know what they did to go get worse. I mean, they're playing without Steph. So I think the great thing about what's happening right now,
the Warriors don't
trades,
look good. I mean, by comparison, the Warriors. I mean, I see what he's saying, but I don't agree that the Warriors got worse.
Right. But the good thing about all these trades going down right now is it gives, if they, instead of happening like at 11:55 right before the deadline, Warriors got all night to be thinking what they got to do.
They're bunkering up, baby. Sleep over at my house.
So this gives them, if they truly want to win the NBA championship this year, which I believe they do, because we know that the players do, Curry may be like, hey, he may be on the phone making calls to players and say, hey,
can he go like get in contact with Seth Curry and tell Seth Curry to like make this trade happen to get Bridges or Johnson?
Somebody says the zinger available.
Players run the league.
The Wizards going to move Porzingis?
Should Steph like do a LeBron? Like he's never like done a LeBron. He's never like come out and like been like, I'm sorry guys. Like I try to normally let you guys do your job, but we got to get rid of Wise. We got to get somebody else. I only have a couple more years left of this level.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he
mean,
may be
and he'd be
behind
well
the-
within his rights
behind
to
the
do that.
scenes.
easily
Behind
would
the
be within.
camera.
I mean,
Yeah.
the more I think about it, it's kind of it's. I think people are going to look back and be like, "Damn, that was a pretty crazy title that they won last year with Wiggins as the second best player." And they just smoked.
Chardall says, "Hey Larry, I'll join you guys on February the 13th against Washington. He'll come on after
Yeah,
the
maybe
Wizards game."
he can come on and
Day
we can
before
do
Valentine's Day.
maybe we can do a live together and you can do play-by-play, Chardal.
That would be great.
Guys,
Yeah.
a couple of thoughts though before we wrap this bad boy up. Well, I don't know if we're going to wrap it up just yet, but we're getting close. I know Baller's going to have to jump.
I got to jump too.
Couple things.
You guys want to see my jump
I haven't
stops?
talked to you guys since the Niners went with Steve Wilkes as the defensive coordinator. Are you guys now? I bring this up today because it's interesting to me. Just that I think he's a perfect fit in a lot of ways, but his defenses were ranked 19th, 20th, 26th, and 11th. And he's also moved 6 times in the last 6 years. And then prior to that, he was in 7 different places in 7 years in college. This guy's basically had 13 different jobs in 13 years. A lot of people, he blitzes a little bit more. A lot of people think he's going, he's going single high safety a lot. So get ready for more Hufanga at the line. But what do you think of Wilkes overall? And are you concerned?
I like the Steve Wilkes hire. Ever since the 49ers hired him, I've been listening to some interviews, hearing players talk about him. Players love him. He runs a lot of zone, which we know Saleh ran a lot of zone. D'Amico ran a lot of zone.
Exactly.
So they're keeping the correlation there. He
also
4-3
blitzes
guy.
a lot though too.
The
Right.
fire
Blitz
zone
more.
blitz. Yeah, Dan. He likes to blitz these linebackers. He's creative. He's sending
Well,
the
if they
nickel
do
back.
that, you know what I would say, Baller? If they're gonna do a lot of blitzing, I think he blitzed like over 40% of the time with the Panthers. If he starts using those linebackers to blitz, you got to get Mosley signed because you need one-on-one guys that can cover and re-sign Jimmy Ward. You got to have guys that can lock down guys one-on-one because if you can do that, you can blitz a lot because you're going to, you remember when they, I'm trying to remember which game it was. Was it when they blitzed Rodgers in 19 when they were just coming at him and he was just thrown, in the dirt a lot quick because he had to get rid of it right away? Or if you saw when the Giants beat Brady in the Super Bowls, how they beat him is they just pressured like crazy.
Yeah.
That's how if you got guys that can cover, you could do that a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, the Niners, you're right. I mean, the Niners, if they got a big time corner in the draft, they play a lot. I mean, whether it's Niners or other teams, the saying is, if you match up, you play man. If you don't match up, you play zone. The Niners play a lot of zone, but it's kind of partially because they've spent a lot of their money up front and they don't have big time man-to-man cover corners on the back end. But if they could find one like Seattle found 2 this year, Tariq Woolen or somebody like that in this draft, that would be a nice thing.
I thought
Brian
Mosley was playing
Iglesias says the Warriors have a major perimeter defensive issue, and the West just got way better adding prolific guards and wings. That's what I meant by way worse. Yeah, now Brian knows his stuff for sure.
True,
he's all over. This was kind of interesting to me, guys. ESPN did an annual redraft of last year's NFL draft. Brock Purdy was the 4th pick in the draft.
No,
hilarious.
I
don't know if you gave the Jets, truth serum. Honestly, I think they probably would still go with Sauce. But I mean, he would be a top 10 pick, I guess.
Yeah. This is interesting. No Cap says send Kuminga, etc. to Toronto tomorrow for OG and Anunoby. Yeah, right. Monty Poole just said on Dubs Talk, Joe is very competitive after KD went to the Suns. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe makes a huge move tomorrow.
Nuclear bomb, baby.
That's why I'm thinking Bulls and Levine, but it could be. I'll say this too: if the Bulls are what I know, we all know the Warriors want
a bomb.
We know the Warriors badly want
LeBron.
Caruso, right?
LeBron.
Kerr even said it to him. But you know who I really think they also would want? I know I threw out Levine, but DeRozan is absolutely on the top of his game right now. He's a West Coast kid. He's a West Coast guy.
I think they would like
32?
DeRozan more than Levine.
Let me look how old that guy is.
DeRozan's mid-range game is so freaking lethal. I think he's one of the best mid-range players I've seen in years.
He is 33, so I mean he would line up with their kind of age.
Well, but like, if you want to compete with KD in that mid-range game, that mid-range spot-up game, like,
just don't know
they got KD. What is he? He's awesome in the mid-range spot-up. Okay, who can you get that's better mid-range spot-up? Maybe DeRozan at this point?
I think their best way of counteracting the Suns is just to get as good defensively as possible.
How about this?
Then get Curry.
That's probably right.
How about this? The bomb. Markkanen makes 16 mil.
And you have been pushing for Markkanen.
Wiseman.
Dude, Markkanen's like one of the bust-out players in the NBA.
No.
You think Danny Ainge is going to trade Markkanen?
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Markkanen. Okay. Wiseman, Moody, and Jermichael Green. I think that'll get us close to the 15 million, 16 million, and 3 future ones for Markkanen. Utah, Danny Ainge loves ones.
I mean, what the hell was that trade they did today? I mean, I know that it's like kind of like theoretically maybe good, but it seemed like he was just doing a favor to the Lakers. It was bizarre.
Why not give up a couple of future ones?
I'm with you, Dan. I love Markkanen. I do
too. Yeah. I mean, Markkanen is, first of all, he's an Arizona guy, right? So for Steve's going to love that. But Markkanen is just he's strong. He's not just a perimeter shooter. He's a really strong player.
Finished Dirk.
So, what's that? I mean, he's
Dirk.
He's really, really good. Markkanen would be exact. I mean, think about it. They were talking about needing size and shooting. What's Markkanen? Exactly that.
I mean, don't you think you could maybe pull them if you're giving up Wiseman and Moody, 2 ones from a year ago plus 3 more ones plus whether it's Jermichael Green and
you might be able to, Dan. Might even be able to turn into a 3-way. You know, are you guys missing Damian Lee at all? Because I'm annoyed looking at he's shooting 47% from 3 this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Damian Lee makes no sense. We covered this one night. I think you might not have been here that night, Rye, but we talked about Damian Lee. It's so contradictory to you kissed off Damian Lee, but you're giving minutes to Anthony Lamb over Jonathan Kuminga and Moody at times.
Seriously, I mean, that is valuable shooting. There, honestly, you look at the Suns. Okay, if you wanted to make the argument that they got worse, you'd start with, okay, Cam Johnson shoots 45% from 3. That's no longer there. Bridges 39%. That's no longer there. Okay, they did add KD, but still, their shooting and their defense got worse. The Warriors should try and just get whatever their weakness now. They should just try and exploit it. Let's go get some 3 and D MFers. I would do Markkanen though. I mean, if Markkanen's available, Markkanen would he would be like the Niners getting McCaffrey. Like it'd be crazy.
Well, that's what and that's what you got to do because he's affordable, he's young, and you give up some of those future ones, and you got then you still have. You have a shot at winning it this year, and you still got a shot in the next year or two. And by then, you're just going to have to, reload
Markkanen
later.
Is the 15th ranked player in EPM, right behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, ahead of.
I mean, if what Monty Poole is saying going, big, that's big. But
that is big.
Any of these other guys, these fringe guys we've been talking about all night, that isn't big. That's not big. That's just
how would they get Siakam?
Well, I mean,
not going to get him because he's making $35 million. You got to give up Draymond and still more. Draymond and Wiseman.
I'm just trying to figure out who are the guys that could potentially be had out there that are fit the profile.
Yeah, I looked at Siakam.
Fit the profile of what?
Maybe, I mean, honestly, maybe Kuzma. Larry, I saw you talking about Kuzma. If they were willing to part with Kuzma is a 3 and D. He's been in big games.
Well, here's the thing. People are saying I threw out they should go. Hold on a second. I was saying they should go with a Kuzma kind of a trade.
And if they did Daniel Gafford
and go with Denny Avdia. But try to go Kuzma for Denny Avdia. But people are like, why would they ever trade Kuzma? Because Kuzma is going to walk at the end of the year.
Yeah,
and they're going to get nothing. That's why they would trade Kuzma.
Yeah, I mean, let's think about these teams that are like, there's now is a clear delineation between some teams that are just like, we're not going for it this year. We're kind of willing to not even get that great of a deal. We're just trying to, get a little worse. I mean, these teams, like, I'm just trying to think like Charlotte, maybe.
Charlotte doesn't have anybody but Washington, and they really don't have anybody that would help the Warriors except Washington.
What about the Spurs? Don't really. I got
McDermott on the Spurs.
I would take McDermott. Still, they might have too many white guys at that point, though. Whoa! Oh, I heard Kevin Love is a little bit on the outs all of a sudden. He potentially is going to get moved.
Somebody in the chat
would be
was
perfect.
Okay. Kelly Olynyk. I kind of like me some Olynyk.
Yeah, I mean, he'll injure some guys.
I liked him and Vanderbilt in the deal. I thought that would have been doable. And
do you think we can? What about Ben Simmons?
Somebody asked about Trent. No Cap 757 asked about Boucher and Trent Jr. Trent makes $17.5 million and Boucher 12. So that you're looking at almost $30 million there. Pretty tough to get both those guys.
Brian Iglesias says, I don't think the Warriors will make a big splash. I could see them targeting a long wing defender like Terrence Ross, Josh Richardson, or Chris Duarte.
Yeah.
I would take the hell out of Duarte. I mean,
if Wiseman's in the deal, though, you got to get somebody with some height. That's why I say, like Markkanen. What is Markkanen, like 6'9", 6'10"?
Yeah, I mean, I'd take like that, or I'd take like just kind of like a wing that could play a little, like kind of like a maybe Wiggins size guy.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to get.
Yeah, we're gonna call it right here. Hey, we're gonna play some spots. Anybody who wants to get out right now, we'll let them out. But thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. Baller, you gonna jump?
Yeah, I'm taking off. What I will say, I'll end it with this. It's going to be fun rooting against the Phoenix Suns. I can see that being a team everyone just kind of roots against. But Warriors got to make a move. They got to improve this. If they want to compete for a title this year after what just happened, they got to go out and do something. They got till noon tomorrow. All right, fellas, I'm out.
All right, Baller, we'll talk to you.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, sorry. What were you going to say, Ryan?
You can ask me, Ryan. I'll answer it for him.
Okay. I was going to ask you, Dan. How? Same question. How crazy is it that, like, at least for me, NBA, I'm already in. That, like, aren't you? Isn't this like the final thing?
I love the trade stuff.
Just, like, locked in now. It's like, well, it's got a race in the West.
What happens to the NBA? It's like really dead for the first 3 months, 4 months, even into January. But February, everything changes because you got the trade deadline, and then right after the All-Star break, there's like everybody's playing for a playoff position because they're really going for it. So yeah, this is gonna be a fun 2 months.
Dan, Lair, are you guys available to do like maybe like an 11 a.m. stream or something like that? Like something just like an hour before the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, I am tomorrow. I've got Vish coming on the channel tomorrow afternoon. And I'm
I'll make the stream
doing
tonight.
some stuff with Grant Napier on Friday morning.
Okay.
But Jordan Elliott's going to be on Friday.
Sweet.
But yeah, I got time tomorrow to do like a last hour deal. Believe me.
Yeah,
if the Warriors make a big move early, as soon as they make a move, we'll go live right then.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, maybe if there's a bunch of trades tomorrow, maybe we'll try to do one going into the deadline. That'd be good.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. Well, I'm going to head out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Danny. We'll talk to you.
Dan.
Ryan, you want Guile says Dub's number one problem all year and in the playoffs is playing defense. No question.
Facts.
No question.
Them some facts.
You want to hang or you want to jet?
Oh, yeah, I'll hang.
Okay, we'll play some spots right here. We'll come back and wrap it up on the Krueg Show. But first, a message from our sponsors.
Larry Kruger here for Telmetrics. Thanks to Casey Bateman and the good people at Telmetrics. If you're an occupational therapist, if you're an orthopedic surgeon, a chiropractor, a physical therapist of any kind, Telmetrics is designed for you to use in your practice and will greatly benefit your patients. Telmetrics uses computer vision and artificial intelligence and provides a platform for outpatient rehab therapy services, both in the clinical and the telehealth environments. So using Telmetrics can improve your patient's experience and much more. So for all your sports injury needs, or if you're a physical rehabilitation specialist of any kind, make sure you use telmetrics.co, TELMETRIX.co. And thanks to Casey Bateman and all the good people at Telmetrics for being a proud sponsor of the Krueg. I'd like to thank our sponsor. And thanks to Tony Cassera and the good people at Cassera's Italian Menswear. They are housing the Krueg Show t-shirts, and they're a proud sponsor of the show as well. The Krueg Show t-shirt, the Krueg Show podcast t-shirt is available there at their store in Dublin. Their address is 7372 San Ramon Road in Dublin, California. And go see Tony Cassera and get yourself a Krueg Show t-shirt and support the show. And special thanks to our sponsor, New York Style Italian Sausage. That's right, NewYorkStyleSausage.com is their website. Phenomenal product, whether it's the breakfast sausage, the Italian mild, the Italian spicy, the chorizo. You cannot go wrong with New York Style Italian Sausage. Once again, NewYorkStyleSausage.com. Often imitated, never equaled.
We grew up with a Sunday dinner. That means no matter how busy you were, no matter where the hell you were, you came to dinner on a Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday dinner without sausage, it's like a church without God. You know, how can you go to church if you don't believe in God? You know, and along with the sausage also became the discussions. That was discussion night. You know, it wasn't a typical family that you sit there and you're quiet, you know, and you don't talk with a mouthful. Oh no, man. Italians talk when they're eating. Italians even talk when they're sleeping. And definitely we talk with our hands. So if we can't express it through our mouth, through our lips, we express it with our hands. So, and that's what sausage is, really. It's an expression, you know, that life is good.
Welcome back to the Krueg Show. Look who's in the house, Cyrus Satsis.
Yeah.
No way. Let's go, Cy.
Locked on.
Where's everyone?
Well, Red had to check out at 11.
Red.
Danny
Late.
had the sciatica kicking in. Did you see, Rye, did you see my new Telmetrics commercial?
Oh, did you see? I put up, like, I had to acknowledge how freaking dope it was.
Should we, Cy, you didn't see it.
Here's
the new Telmetrics commercial.
All right.
Tell me if you think this is professional looking for Telmetrics.
Tonight, yeah.
New Telmetrics ad.
That's a sponsor?
That's one of the sponsors. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome,
You like
man.
that?
Yes, I do.
That was a good one.
Absolutely.
It's,
What are we looking at here?
I was just saying that Sai's rocking the Caesar. Caesar haircut.
It's never by design, man. My hair just every day. It's just I let it do its thing. So are we talking vaccines tonight? Is that the topic?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
By the way, you put a picture out of you partying with FP Santangelo.
Yeah, that was
the,
last week.
You had the handlebar mustache.
Larry, you were invited to that party. But like you were such a family man. This was back in like 2007, so 16 years ago.
Right.
So your kids, I mean, your kids were like kids, and but yeah, I mean, it was actually a very infamous mustache party that my buddy Steve Blankenship and I threw back then. Like he was my co-host on the weekend show we did on KNBR where we talked about surfing, and it was awesome. Man, FP was there. Like Eric Burns showed up. We had this one listener show up, a KNBR listener who just would call in, and we invited him, and he came. Some Maverick surfers were there. It was a good time, man. It was, and the best part, and Ryan, you might appreciate this as well. It was a strict mustache policy, right? Like FP was the only one. So there were people who showed up to the party where it was like a group of guys and girls, and some of the guys didn't have mustaches, and they're like, "Come on, man! Like you have to let us in." We're like, "Fuck no!" Sorry for swearing. And the girls would just ditch them. Be like, "Well, you don't have a mustache," and they come right in. So the ratio was perfect. I mean, this was
a genius way to get ratio.
The ratio.
That is a genius ratio move. I can't grow a stash myself, so I would have been booted, I guess.
So what did you think of the game tonight, Si? I mean, it was a 3-point loss, and now the Suns have KD, and there's been a lot that's happened here tonight.
So the KD trade happened in the middle of Locked On Warriors, and I'm guessing it happened in the middle of your show too, right? Early on.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about like just breaking news in the middle of a show. This is a blockbuster trade.
Electric.
It's what's your sponsor's name again? Modern.
Telmetrics.
Telmetrics. It's Telmetrics, bro. That's how big it is.
It's metrics, bro. We're living in the metrics.
It's metrics, bro. So I mean, look. My immediate reaction, and I've now had like an hour to think about it, is the Warriors better act. I mean, I really hope this was like a catalyst for them taking action, because I didn't think they were going to take action originally. What Draymond said a couple days ago, I thought was most accurate, which is that they don't make midseason trades. They've only done it once, and that was in a lost season to get Wiggins. So, if they don't take action now, the Suns are the favorites. You know, like if they're healthy, they're the favorites. I mean, I love the fact that they did not give up DeAndre Ayton in the process. I'm one of the few people, I guess, who still values him really high. I always
TJ Warren in the deal too. I didn't even realize that at first.
Yeah.
And how about
another guy who can flat out?
They're all young, Cy, and KD has the same contract as Steph. This is not going away. Chris Paul might go away. This team is going to be the favorite now, unless the Warriors make a move for the next 3 years or so. They need to make a move. I honestly was telling Dan last night, I had this call and I was like, Dan, I had an epiphany. I realized the Warriors need to trade for KD. He's going somewhere. They need to block him from going to the Suns or the freaking Grizzlies. Let's unload the assets. We need, like, if he joins the team, it guarantees a top 4 seed. Steph, the injury stuff is a little scary. Because now, Cy, like, I think we all kind of agree, like, tonight was a pretty good game. Like, it was good that Wiggins just played well again. Clay played well again. Poole played well again. Dante played great again. It's like, it's going in the right way. They just didn't have Steph to close out the game. But now it's like, okay, if Steph's not going to be back, like they need to start winning ball games. Like
even if Steph does come back, their bench is they're just such a thin team, and like I thought they could get away with it without making a trade. I don't think that you can have that. And the good news is, like, Bob Myers, who barely does media, I feel like the only interview he does is on your station, Larry, 95.7 The Game. When are you filling in next, by the way? I feel like you're not filling in enough.
Monday the 20th.
Monday the 20th. Oh, Jesus, 12 days? Okay, all right. What time? What show?
Is that 4:20?
I'm not sure. I have it written down.
2:20.
Monday.
2:20. Anyways, so Bob Myers does a show on there once every other week, and he seems very forthright, and he's fortunately saying the same thing, which is that he doesn't feel as strongly about this year's team as in years past in terms of the margin of error, because they're grilling him about a trade and whether or not they're going to take action. And He's not saying no, which is the good thing. But then, at the same time, it's like tonight was just another dud. And like, I don't understand these DNPs with Moody and Wiseman. I had a long conversation. Part of the reason why I came on late with you guys is I was on the phone with one of my most trusted Warriors insiders. Like he's connected to the locker room and then some. And I was having a long phone conversation with him about just the future of this team, the president of this team. One thing we were on consensus with is that they don't like Wiseman. Like they haven't liked Wiseman for at least a year, if not a year and a half. And so this is where, like, I think the heart of this whole little proxy war is, because we were talking about Lacob, right? And Lacob he's a businessman. He's a venture capitalist. This is someone who I think just in the last year and a half has invested over $100 million of his own money into James Wiseman, right? So there's got to be like some kind of attachment there. There's got to be. So I think, and Lacob, I'm sure, doesn't want to just wave the white flag and just say, I messed up. I made a mistake in drafting Wiseman and believing in him and giving him an extension, right, for next year. So it's one of those things where Lacob may be just stubbornly holding on to him and maybe secretly really pissed off at Steve Kerr for the DNPs, but either trade him or play him. It's just ridiculous that he's sitting there night after night.
Well, do you think this forces his hand? Because here's another angle. How about this side? We're talking about Lacob. Lacob wants everyone to feel like he is, he's the leader of I'm not going to call the Warriors the Death Star, but to other people, they see it as that. He has his dong on the table at any opportunity to spend money to get this team over the hump. The new Phoenix Suns owner was voted in and officially became the owner of the team yesterday.
Yeah.
This guy just spent a shit ton of money on this team, and he's trying to make moves, and he is going for it all right now, right away. Trade deadline. Who cares if these big season trades don't normally happen? He now has raised the level, and Joe Lacob is going to have to match him, or else he's going to look a little, I don't know.
Yeah, I do hope what No Cap wrote is right. The Monty Pool reference, which is that Lacob is competitive. Maybe you'll see this and it'll spur him to make a move of his own. I hope so. I hope. Until that trade, I was okay with this team.
Yes.
Not great, but I was okay. Now it's like, if they don't make a move and the Suns are healthy, you got to call them the favorites. And the simple reason is Kevin Durant he's not leading a team on his own to a title. I think we're pretty set on that now. He doesn't have to with this team, right? I mean, Devin Booker is legit. Devin Booker is a player who, it's a little surprising he hasn't won a title yet. He is an upper echelon superstar. And he's going to carry that team. But now he has Kevin Durant as his wingman. Chris Paul, has little pressure.
Paul can get hurt and it's fine.
This team's good. I'm worried about him. And it wouldn't surprise me if they also picked up a couple more players from the buyout market, because
because people want to win a ring. Everybody's cherry picking the ring.
They just became number one on the buyout market rankings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then so, like, for example, No Cap writes trade for OG Anunoby of the Raptors. But the Raptors show tonight they're buyers. So I don't even know if that's a trade that's possible, because they traded for Jakob Poeltl. I thought the Raptors are going to be sellers. I thought the Bulls were going to be sellers. We don't know what the Bulls are doing. The Raptors apparently still think they're going to be competitive. So I don't even know.
Orlando.
Sai, is it?
Yeah.
Is it
another team? Sadiq Bey would be awesome. I would love Sadiq Bey.
Sai, is it legal to go
to the
Nets and get Cam Johnson or Miles Bridges now that they were traded? Because that would be great.
You could trade him again.
That would be sick, wouldn't it? Like, get former Suns. Those guys are great 3-and-D guys. Like, they're best defenders.
I would love that.
Who you want from Detroit?
They got to do something. I mean,
Myers from Detroit.
What's up?
Who you said you wanted somebody from Detroit?
Your boy, Sadiq Bey. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be great. I mean, Jared Vanderbilt would have been amazing. I mean, it's a shame.
How much do you think Joe is more about saving this $100 million than he is about making this competitive run for a ring?
What's the point then of spending? Yeah, it's going to cost him $130 million next year to keep James Wiseman. $130 million just for James Wiseman, so he can DNP night after night.
What about Kuzma? Kuzma makes sense to me, because Kuzma is walking at the end of the year from Washington. So they can either trade him or let him walk.
I'm desperate now. I wasn't super high on him, but it's like at this point, just give me anything, man. Just do something. Yeah, Kuzma's great. He's got championship experience. He's big. Sign me up. Yes, sure.
What they can't do now with this move that Phoenix has made is they can't just sit with Wiseman, not play him, and duck out. They just can't.
That's what
they're gonna look really bad.
It's messed up, man. What about Moody? Like, why is Moody getting DNP night after night? Like,
this is the ultimate question for you right here. I posed it to the fellas earlier. Let's just say hypothetically the season plays out like we think, the Suns kind of cruise and actually win the championship. The Warriors are a little too banged up, lose in maybe the second round. Okay, what if next year, and the Lakers get bounced early, what if LeBron wants to come team up and just be like, screw it, let's team up, longtime rivals, let's team up and just take down this freaking stupid ass Suns team with KD and just dunk on them and just win another chip for both of us?
Well, what about it? I mean,
would you do that? Like,
why not? I mean, if
that's what I'm thinking. I'm feeling desperate now.
I'm not a fan of that. I think but I wouldn't. If LeBron comes here, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to say F you? I'll support him. He's a Warrior. But I mean, don't you think the more realistic thing though is that Draymond leaves and joins LeBron in LA? That's what I feel.
Here's the other thing I brought up earlier, because we were talking actually about Caruso and the Bulls and Levine and DeRozan and some of the pieces they have. And I was saying to get Levine and Caruso, you would have to move Draymond and Wiseman and Moody. You know what I mean? You have to, because Levine makes a lot. A lot of the people in the chat were like, no, Levine's best days are gone. Don't make that deal. But I'm looking at Levine as an entertaining basketball player, and he's under contract for the next 4 years at big money. If you don't want Draymond at the end, if Draymond's going to walk at the end of the year, I mean, don't you think
so what are you asking? Like, would I trade?
I'm saying,
Draymond?
Would you move Draymond and Wiseman in a deal for Caruso and Levine?
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of people are like, hey, don't move Draymond. He's they need more D, not less D. And I get that, but it just seems like Draymond's going to walk at the end of the year.
Exactly. So I'm with you. I would totally make that trade.
You would do that.
Of course. I mean, because the Warriors are looking at a scenario where,
despite the fact Levine's body may be a little banged up, and
Levine's having a great year. If you look at his stats, he's fantastic. He's a solid 3-point shooter. He's not
that makes sense, I think, for the Bulls.
And he's not a high usage guy. That's why I feel like he would be great for most teams. As long as Zach LaVine's not like your number 1 or maybe even number 2 guy. Like Zach LaVine is your number 3 guy is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to lose Draymond for nothing. And that's what the Warriors are facing. So yeah, I'd be for that. Yeah, hell yeah, man. And Alex Caruso is an absolute A-list defender. It sounds like it would cost a lot to get Caruso. I don't think James Wiseman's enough. That's part of the problem with the Caruso scenario. Here's also another scary thought. There's some reports that the Grizzlies want to make a move, and they want DeMar DeRozan of the Bulls. I feel like if the Grizzlies get DeMar DeRozan and don't give up much in return, like they might be
major players.
Like the Warriors might just be looking up at 2 teams ahead of them now. Like, this is getting depressing, man. Bob Myers, earn your cash. Earn that check while you're still here before you leave us this offseason.
This is interesting. Well, we had this one from Corey. I thought that was kind of interesting as well. He says, again, Woj says the Nets are expected to explore trade scenarios for Jake Crowder ahead of the 3 p.m. Eastern deadline.
Warriors have been linked to him.
Phoenix wasn't going to make that move, but maybe the Nets would.
He would be a great pickup. Look at you, Larry. Look at you, man. You poked Chris Duarte a couple days ago. You brought him out of the woodwork. Now I'm actually seeing other people mention him. And now you're
what about this one? No Cap says, I said trade Draymond for Jeremy Grant, a guy who cuts to the basket, and ask for GP2 because Dame Lillard badly wants Draymond. He wants him that bad he would make that deal.
He does. That's true. Yeah.
Would that work? God, man, that would really be something.
I don't think the Warriors are trading Draymond. I don't think if we're gonna, it's one thing to talk about trades and how fun they are, But if we're going to be realistic, I don't think Draymond's being traded. I don't think he's going anywhere. That's what I think. But
just because why?
Because
it's interesting that he's like not going anywhere trade wise, but at foregone conclusion going away at the end of the year.
Because I think the Warriors believe that they're still world championship contenders. Like they really believe it. And to them, and it makes sense, Draymond is a huge reason why. He's so integral to, like, he is their center. Like that's how they view him. He's their number one defender. He's a primary facilitator offensively. He does so damn much. But you're right. I do think they're going to try and keep him after this year. Like, let's say he opts out. He doesn't sign the player option. I do think the Warriors will at least make an offer. But I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if they're going to give him the money that other teams are going to offer. And you know, I don't know, man. You know, this is just getting depressing a little bit. You know, it sucks.
It is.
It sucks.
Kevin F says Dubs are a mediocre 500 team as is. Blow it all up.
But everyone is in the West. You know, just a push back
for Phoenix. It's so good for the Suns. Like it's just so damn wide open. And also, I'm gonna get so annoyed when everyone just starts. Excuse my language, but everyone just starts blowing Durant, and it's like as if all of that crap in Brooklyn didn't happen. It needs to be remembered. Steph Curry is the only chess piece on the board that hasn't moved. He stayed here throughout this whole freaking thing, and he just won another one.
Yep.
KD's bouncing around. All these guys are bouncing around. So I save any arguments for KD over Steph if they win a championship.
SB Nation has an article out. It says deals for Bojan Bogdanovic involving Warriors, Lakers, and Heat. Trade 1. Warriors get Bojan Bogdanovic. Pistons get James Wiseman, Moses Moody, Patrick Baldwin Jr., Ryan Rollins, 2025 first-round swap, and a 2026 protected first-round pick. Jesus. That's an awful lot for Bojan.
That's a lot. That is a lot, man.
Teams have leverage over the teams like the Warriors. Like it's they know that everyone's going to be desperate. Grizzlies are going to be desperate. The Nuggets should be desperate. I mean, all these teams, it's wide freaking open. I don't know if this means anything. I don't really care about the East until the playoffs, but Jaylen Brown did get injured today. He fractured his face or something.
Yeah, facial fracture. I don't know if I've actually experienced that. It was part of like a really gnarly head injury where I also fractured my skull, highest grade concussion. Dude, it hurt. Like I could understand because he's gonna miss some time. Like
yeah.
I get it. I used to think an injury like that is like, oh, facial fracture. What is that? Dude, it really hurts, man. And like you feel like you're handicapped. Like it's not cool. It's not cool. So
by the way, we're almost done here because we're at midnight. But they had 3 trades right for Bojan Bogdanovic. So the first one I just read you from the Warriors, it was once again Wiseman, Moody, Baldwin, Rollins, a pick swap, and a protected number 1, all for Bojan. Listen to what the Laker trade would be. Think about how much the Warriors just traded there for Bogdanovic. This is according to the second trade what the Lakers would trade. The Pistons would get Patrick Beverly, Lonnie Walker, a 2027 first round pick, and a 2029 protected first round pick. I mean, that's a whole lot less than Wiseman, Moody, Baldwin, Rollins. I mean,
I think all those players, though, the reason why that trade has all those players is because, and this is the hindrance with Bogdanovic, is he's making a lot of money. So right. I'm guessing all those little contracts are needed to come close to match. I'm guessing. I don't know, but
no, you're right. You're right. I just think that's an incredible contrast. Between what and they said then they also have their third trade is that Bojan Bogdanovic would go to the Heat and the Pistons would get Duncan Robinson, Nikola Jovic, a 2023 first round pick. And then
I saw they're trying to unload Lowry. I don't know where he would go, but I know they're trying to unload him.
Yeah.
They're done with him.
That's interesting.
That juicy.
So tomorrow at 11 a.m. is that when it's
12? Cy, would you want to come on with us? We're thinking about doing like a live, like a.
Well, yeah. If the Warriors make a deal tomorrow, we're gonna go live. And
I would have to. Yeah, I would have to do that too.
Locked
we'll
on.
stay in touch. We'll stay in touch. I got in a car accident. I got to take my car to a shop.
Oh no.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk. Yeah. But
really bad one.
The Warriors got to do something, man. It's you're waving a white flag if you just sit here and just stand bad.
At least,
right?
I mean,
yeah. Oh, definitely.
It's getting too dire. Like they might like F around and end up at like a 7 seed, and or like anything can happen in these stupid play-ins. Steph could get hurt. Like it's no good, no bueno.
Like 2021, this season's like 2021 again. It's just
I know.
I actually kind of think that's what I'm saying. The way things have come down in the last couple days with these trades, I kind of think that the Warriors need to make a deal that's not all about this year. That's a little bit about this year and next year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
if they can't go for a guy and just have him walk. They can't trade Wiseman and a bunch of guys for Kuzma, have him walk at the end of the year. I just, you know what I mean? They have to get something. I think they'd be smart, let's just say,
Westbrook,
to add somebody who could also play for them a year from now. That's all I'm saying. Because this year doesn't look that great, to be honest.
It's new. Okay, Sai, can you also just you're plugged in? What in the hell happened? Am I taking crazy pills like that? Lakers? How the hell did the Lakers get that haul for Westbrook and a first round pick that if it even ends up top 4 becomes a second round pick? They got great players and value for that.
It's not just that. I mean, it was also the Ruri Hachimura trade where they gave up nothing for a lottery pick.
Adam Silver put the script out for the rest of the year and was just like, the Lakers have to contend.
I think it's just I think we're overinflating like what some of these players are going to cost. Like that trade actually bummed me out because when I saw that, I immediately thought the Warriors could have gone Jared Vanderbilt. Like, they could have made a move to get Jared Vanderbilt. Like they had the ass. If that's what it took to get like that whole haul, like for just Jared Vanderbilt, you would not have had to give up the house. And
5 months ago, that trade would have been they would have had to trade Westbrook plus that one, possibly no protections, just for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Like that was the level of like they needed to attach picks to get rid of them. And they ended up getting D'Lo, who's probably an upgrade, and they got Vanderbilt, and they're out of the Russell Westbrook sweepstakes. Like, what in the hell, man? It's weird. The Timberwolves have botched this thing in immeasurable ways. Larry was reading earlier Jordan Elliott's tweet about essentially they traded Kuminga and Wiggins for what, like a 35-year-old Mike Conley or some shit. And it's like in a second. Plus, they got completely fleeced, gave more than the Suns just gave for Kevin Durant to get Rudy Gobert, who's been a complete disaster. Now they're going back to the well and trading with Ainge again and just got boned over again, lost D'Lo and got like nothing out of it. It's truly is remarkable how bad this of a job this is.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, if you folks want to be entertained, Bob Myers is trending on Twitter right now. I emailed you I emailed you just like one of the tweets, Ryan, if you want to. It's literally just endless memes, just mocking Myers for either doing absolutely nothing, or just the fact that he has complete apathy, like the one I sent to Ryan, for example. You can play it so everyone else can see as well. It's just Dubs fans.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's just endlessly like that. It's just.
By the way, thanks to the audience, we are finishing up. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes into our live stream. Thanks to Frank, thanks to Danny, thanks to Baller, thanks to everybody. But we are now we just eclipsed 13,000 subs.
Congrats, man!
Yesterday, today. We're at 13,545.
Jesus.
Really? It's not even football season.
Are you marketing? Like, what are you attributing this to? Like
45 subs.
What's
that saying? It's like to those with more's giveth, or what? Some crap like that.
What I think is really blowing up the channel is my son has been making some incredible videos off of some live streams and some recordings that I've done on some of these topics, putting them out there. He's really pretty good at it, and they're getting a ton of hits.
Oh,
I'll give you an idea.
Oh my God, if we were in Arizona doing shenanigans down,
I know.
Is your son using like TikTok and making videos on there to hype you up?
No, I mean, he just knows how to use the SEO. But I mean, like, give you an example. I did a video about Steve Wilkes coming to the 49ers, the defensive coordinator. And then I just basically talked about how the Carolina Panthers have a couple of veteran defensive free agents, Matthew Ioannidis and Corey Littleton, who probably could be perfect Niners to fill in for Kinlaw. So I did a video about it. And that was yesterday. And today it has 18.7 thousand views.
Wow.
And it's generated, that video alone has generated 77 new subscribers.
That's like the thing that we tried a million different things, I feel like, as the show is growing, but it's like it comes down to like just the clips are what, like, I just think about my habit when I like am searching stuff around. It's like you'll watch the clip, and if the clip's good, then you're like, oh, I'm actually down to listen to like their long form show if this clip's actually pretty good. Like, I want to learn more about these guys.
Yeah. So like, you know what it is that, maybe like we're on here tonight for 2 hours and 21 minutes. Hendrix. But we were on here for 2 hours and 21 minutes. But the reality is that maybe a 5-minute clip of this show tomorrow could get 3 times as many views as the live stream.
And I need I will start going through and repurposing some of the stuff from our interviews. But Lair, I know I've been saying, I'm going to try and get that video of
we need
the highlights of all the interviews. So I went through, I mapped it out, and I went through the Google Drive. Our Google Drive, by the way, for anyone out there that like understands memory, is over a terabyte. So that's like more than my laptop. So I have an external hard drive, put it all on there. I mapped out everything that I thought we would want like a moment from, put it all in my video timeline. This is maybe 30% of the stuff we've done. 16 hours of footage.
Wow. Dude, I'm seriously, it could be a documentary.
Oh my God, we literally have like enough for a documentary. So I'm trying my hardest, but it is taking forever. Just even like formatting all that.
It might be worth putting together the documentary and then just...
I basically am doing that at this point. Like, it's looking like it's going to be like at least 8 or 9 minutes long.
In the Super Bowl, we could have showed that documentary of interviews at a theater. Kevin F says, you need a YouTube short video guy. Somebody says this channel is rising like a phoenix.
Like the Phoenix Suns.
The Kevin Durant's Phoenix.
Oh, look at that. GTC Reels. Somebody clip Cy in the VAX talk. No, don't do that.
Probably get a lot of fans too. It'd be a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Andrew Martinez, Larry's son is getting an allowance raise.
Oh yeah.
Well, just to be clear, like, I'm not judging people about the bats thing. That was all about Kyrie and Stephen A. I just want to be clear. I don't care, what you do.
We hear you.
It's all.
Barsart says, Larry, you lazy. Kevin F says short form videos are the future. Dude, I swear to you, I mean, it's an amazing amount of growth. The fact that we got 13,000 subs yesterday, and today we're approaching 13,600.
You've earned it, man.
That's almost more growth than we had at any point during the season.
Dude, you've been doing this for so long, bro. You shouldn't be that surprised by it, in all honesty. I bet you a lot of it too is just your fans just learning. You probably have a lot of fans each day just learning that you're on YouTube and coming late to the party. So
I think also the more like subscribers you have, it's almost like a little bit of like verification. Like if I saw somebody did like a review of some electronics or something that I was going to go look at, and I saw their channel had, 13,000, or if I saw their channel had, 4,000, I'm always picking on the 13,000. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's kind of like almost like a Yelp review sort of.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, no question. The other thing is I'll tell you, it's a bizarre thing, But a friend of mine who works for Google called me earlier this week. He's like, dude, do you know if you type your name into Google? And first of all, I said, what are you typing my name into Google for?
Yeah.
It's like, he goes, if you type your name into Google, Brock Purdy's name comes up.
Oh.
And I said, no way. And I think he might be right.
So you're synonymous with Brock Purdy. That's huge.
I think
Brock
Brock Purdy's name comes up.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
So maybe
Good
that
stuff,
has something to do with it.
Oh, you know what? Be changed. If you search Larry Krueger right now, it says people also ask, and the first one is where's Larry Krueger working now? And it says it doesn't mention the. Oh no, it does. Wait, in the past, he also served as sports blah 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 sports blah blah blah. Since being let go of the Cumulus Sports Talk or the Cumulus Sports Talker, he has launched a YouTube channel where he's been doing local sports talk. Barrett Sports Group. Oh, I didn't. That's awesome.
So yeah,
Google's smart.
Andrew Martinez says 25,000 by the start of the season. I thought that was unattainable. I'm starting to think that is actually very attainable.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about this. It is, I agree, short form videos are the future, and pretty much the channel. I think it's really impressive that we were able to build a following doing these freaking like 3.5 hour live streams that just like are just hangouts. And it's like so the opposite of what anyone would tell you to do to try and get followers fast. And people still like really love it. So I think that's really cool.
I've always Martinez, it says what happened to Lazy Larry.
Yeah.
Woodpit says the collaboration with different hosts has to be helping with the growth. Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
By the way, I type in, if I type in Larry Krueger on Google, it goes Larry Krueger Twitter, Larry Krueger KNBR, Larry Krueger obituary. Oh
no.
Nice.
Stony, buddy.
I need to change my name, I think.
GTC Real says, Larry, you did all that radio just to do YouTube talk. What a circuitous route.
It led to it.
Awesome.
I've always been a firm
I love the
believer
late
like,
night shows.
Yeah,
man, we love
I'm
doing
not a big believer in the gimmicky, like, like if you follow a script, like program directors do this stuff endlessly, right? Hit the mark at the 15, get to, like it to me, if your show has quality, if it's entertaining, if it's informative, whatever the variables are, the magic recipe for how you define quality. If it meets that, you're fine. Like you don't need to do all this bullshit, like make it short, make it long. Like it's just all about the quality of the show, man. Your show's great. That's what I think.
Kev said this one's interesting. Kevin F says what YouTube influencers do is have someone put out 10 to 30 shorts based on each of the long form videos a day. They have over 1 million followers.
True.
That's the move. I mean, that is
really is true.
It's just like, honestly, probably what I should do going forward, because it's kind of tough on Len, because it's like, he's later. It's like 3 a.m. for him, and it's like to watch the whole.
Len?
Len's our behind the scenes guy.
I know.
It's like, I probably should be taking notes throughout the show, and then that way I can just mark like when there's a good thing. Like that's what I used to do at the Corolla show, and that way everything would be organized into folders for like awards at the end of the year. And like,
it's amazing. Sometimes I'll send my kid a note. Like, hey man, like, we had a really good moment where we're talking about, something, and like my kid will be like, already clipped it, already heard it.
Let's go.
Already found it. Already, so he's all over it. He's all over it. Val Ramos says, hit that like button, fellas, and good night. G Code says, Larry, you're going to have to leave us like Skip Bayless. Oh, great. We got this one. Larry, are you going to leave us like, wait. Oh, here we go. Clarsard searched up Larry Krueger, and all I saw was a feed of goats.
Let's go.
Thank you. Terradome in the house.
Let's
First
go.
of all, it should say the great Larry Krueger. Put some respect on his name.
That's fair.
Remember, we had Terradome on the other night. He was in the night. He's a 911 operator. We're like, Terradome, are you, because we heard phones ringing in the background, and we're like, Terradome, do you have to get that? He's like, no, I'm good. Andrew Martinez, 30 more minutes, Larry. You know what? I got to get up early tomorrow.
Why?
Because I'm doing. Hey, by the way, a lot of stuff coming up on the channel tomorrow. Vish is going to stop by in the afternoon, probably in the late afternoon. We're probably going to go live once the Warriors make a move going into the deadline. We'll definitely go live that last hour before the trade deadline. That's Thursday. On Friday, Jordan Elliott is stopping by for a live stream. Talk a little football with Jordan Elliott. Grant Napier will be in the house, and we get his thoughts on the Kings and the Warriors and the trade deadline with the great Grant Napier. And also Anish Shroff, who is the voice of the Carolina Panthers. Really interesting guy. He's going to stop by and give us his thoughts on Steve Wilkes coming to the 49ers. So we got that. We got a big.
This is why you got the subs, man. This is why you got the subs, brother.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff coming. And if the Warriors make a move, that whoever they trade for will instantly appear on the channel. Well, maybe not.
Oh wow, but, that's a big pull. That's a great pull. And quickly, nice. I'm proud of what I'm building at Locked On Warriors, and we get maybe like 10 to 20 new subs a day.
Yeah, shout it out.
You're getting like 500. Bravo, man. Kudos. And yeah, Locked On Warriors will have a show if there's a trade, and I'll definitely jump on with you as well.
Yeah, everyone go subscribe to Locked On Warriors right now.
Seriously, get yourself Locked On Warriors. Why don't we play? Can you play us off with Frank's song?
Yeah,
Frank. You know Frank, and Frank's got his own song. Frank writes music. Frank is a rapper. Frank has collabed with some really talented people, and he's got his new song out, and it's good. And we'll play it out right here.
It's just the best. It's just great vibes, positivity.
Shot at life, you think there's nothing else for you to do. This ain't a tragedy, son. I know I've seen a few. You're not responsible for somebody else's thrill. Your integrity's intact and you're still trying to climb the hill. I was a lonely man, I never thought it would come true. But sometimes in life, all you have are your dreams and you. That's when you realize that life ain't standing still. And all you can do is bow your head and accept God's will. But it's funny how it makes you feel. I said it's funny how it makes you feel. I said it's funny how it makes you feel. Life is but a thrill. Time for small talk, he didn't mince words, just sum the lyrics to the best song he ever heard. All his hopes and dreams had turned to despair, but what he was facing, there was no way to prepare. This came from a man who thought his life was ending. In his mind, it was serious, there was no pretending. He checked the clock on the wall before he said his goodbyes. Emitting tears, he has gone, see back into his eyes. He was old in life, there'll be no encore. He raised his hands to the heavens, put his knees on the floor. Don't have to be a genius to know he'd been blessed. He said he'd pay it forward and always do his best. At that moment, what he's been searching for became clear. He was here to serve those who living in fear. With his newfound enlightenment and the wind at his back, he's prepared to live out his life's final act. He was a rich man now, he had purpose in life. And to capture this feeling, you don't pay a price. Before we set up on his own, he made a pledge to get some wins and live his life against the grain to the bitter end. You miss a shot at life, you think there's nothing else for you to do.